I'm so scared, Bryce. I've never testified on stand before.
Oh, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
Good luck.
All right.
What's the worst that could happen? You like go to jail forever for lying.
Take one of them Rami cases that's stuck there that I can't touch because I got the other one. Take one of them Randy Bullet cases. Take you some of them Roman friggin' Sionis trademarks that I ain't touching with a 10-foot pole.
Coop Stanton.
Coop goddamn Stanton always got an excuse why he can't do shit. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, can we all please go ahead and get a warm round of applause for Coop Stanton over here?
You guys see what I gotta fucking deal with? Does everyone here see this? Everyone sees this?
Gentlemen, put your hands up for Coop Stanton.
You believe this?
Somebody, you tripping.
That's the new Coop. This man does not take cases.
Every day.
This man does not take cases.
No cases. Talking about you and.
What are you talking? I was on a goddamn deserted island.
I don't know what the hell's up with that.
Yeah, I heard that Judge Holden guy doesn't do shit.
Nah,
Murphy unopened, I'm unclosed. That's exactly what we're doing,
Holden's
Sriracha.
on his own level. He fought to come back and then did shit all.
Holden? Me sideways, boy, I'd put you in a goddamn headlock.
What the? Don't make me put you in the corner.
Look, calm your ass
You
down.
know, you can tell me to calm my ass down. Put your ass in the corner.
Man, hey.
Yeah, I frequently forget that Holden's a judge. I've only seen him on like one thing before.
You better.
Yeah, I thought he was more like a clerk or something.
Yeah, I thought he was like an advisory position.
You sure you want me to unhand you right now?
Hey, I need to meditate for 2 minutes. Fast for me, right?
Oh, you bastard!
It's funny because Murphy is Holden.
You utter bastard. You son.
This is where we at.
This is where we be.
Yeah.
Where do you name me?
The place that I always need you at, goddammit.
All right, bring us over to Judge's chamber so we can sort ourselves out.
This side?
No, the goddamn laptop. You're supposed to be typing.
Shit.
Are you ready to open this thing up, Murphy?
If there are people that can't speak, direct them to where to go, please, so I can fix them.
Yeah. I did eat a lot of Five Eyes.
Okay.
So
my ass
I'm in
about to have a
coma
fucking
right now.
carb.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I'm a little fucked up on hamburgers, but I'll be fine. I'll be all right.
Josie throwing the tier 1 out to Fishy211. Fishy211, welcome to the jury. Josie, thank you for the continued love and support.
Yes, the district attorney's office is ready, Your Honor.
All right, defense, are you ready?
We are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna call this court case into session. I will say this: throughout this trial, randomly, I will sound like shit. Don't ask me to fix it. There's nothing I can do about it. Secondly, I might accidentally just leave halfway through, and Artson's gonna have to take over. So just plan on that happening. That's why he's here listening as well. Contempt, you know, that thing. So I'm gonna read the statement here. Actually, District Attorney's Office, can you read your statement of charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On May 20th, Mel Rickenbacker was receiving medical treatment at Pillbox Medical. After receiving treatment, Mel Rickenbacker then proceeded to suffocate and kill Pogan Laul with a pillow as he was being treated. The District Attorney's Office is charging the defendant with murder.
All right, and what's the sentencing that you're seeking?
We are seeking 20 years and a $70,000 fine.
Ooh.
Seek this dick.
Excuse me. What'd you say?
I coughed.
He said, seek that dick.
Oh, you're good now, Uchi. Nice.
Sir, keep your mouth shut. All right. Let's get started here. Prosecution, go ahead and do your opening statement, goddammit.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may, before we begin, we would like to note that one of our key witnesses is not here due to sustaining an injury. He's currently in the ICU. Okay.
So I've heard.
Okay, great. Just want to make that clear. All right. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor, and may it please the court. On the 20th of May this year, the defendant, Mel Rickenbacker, was found suffocating a patient with a pillow. The patient was Pogan Laul, and this victim, is now dead. The evidence that will be presented here today, both by witnesses who were there at the scene and by the autopsy report made by Dr. Jason Ledson, will prove, without a doubt, that had it not been for the defendant's reckless, self-serving, and depraved actions, Pogan Laul might still be with us alive today. Thank you.
Okay. Defense.
That should be pretty easy to follow for you, Murphy. You said like 3 words.
Your Honors, ladies and gentlemen of the court, Mel Rickenbacker is a man who is being portrayed as a murderer today. But, in fact, Mr. Rickenbacker is the victim of a weird and creepy internet stalker who repeatedly attacked, threatened, and attempted to kill Mr. Rickenbacker throughout May 20th, up until the point where the victim, the so-called victim, lost his life. Mr. Rickenbacker was pushed to the limits of what any reasonable person would be able to endure, was not helped by police or anyone against a threat upon his life, which was ongoing up until the event for which he's being charged. We will prove that Mr. Rickenbacker was acting to preserve his own life. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, prosecution, go ahead and call your first witness.
We would like to call Officer Alexeyevna to the stand.
So agile.
All right. Raise your left hand, please.
We really haven't accessed
Tell the
ready
truth,
to
the
swear
whole
people
truth,
in
nothing
today.
but the truth. So help you, Toby.
I do.
Crane, where the
Right,
fuck is
proceed with the line
Eugene?
of questioning.
I think he's on his way.
Yeah, I emailed him. He should be here.
Okay. Before I go into my other questions for the court's record, could you please state your name and occupation?
Yes, I'm Officer Katerina Alexeyevna, LSPD officer.
Great, thank you. Were you involved with a pursuit involving Eugene Zuckerberg on May 20th?
Yes, I was.
Would you mind telling us what occurred during this pursuit?
Sure, so I called in to join the pursuit. The pursuit ended in Eugene driving the vehicle off into the reservoir at the dam. Mel was a passenger, but he was released. He had to swim out of the water, but he didn't run from us. I noticed that Mel was walking back from the dam. I was headed back into the city, so I offered him a ride. As we traveled down from the dam, we noticed like this skinny dude over by, you know, the really deep crevice as you leave right past the main dam wall of the reservoir. So not the water side, but the not water side. Mel got out, approached the gentleman. The gentleman picked him up and was going to throw him over, so I drew my weapon and tried to stop him. I yelled at him to stop, to put Mel down, but he ignored it and threw Mel into the crevice, but also fell himself.
Okay, and do you have any other description for the individual who picked him up outside of skinny?
Is a skinny, gangly-looking guy, sandy-colored hair.
Okay. Were you ever able to identify this individual?
Yes, I found out later it was Pogan Laul.
Okay. And do you know what the condition of these individuals were after they fell?
Yes, I went down to try to either assist or to check their condition, basically. Mel was briefly conscious, but fell unconscious. He had taken a really bad fall. He was very injured. The other gentleman was picked up by local doctors, so I cannot confirm his condition.
Okay, great. And while they were being airlifted, could you tell us what else occurred? I'll rephrase the question. While you were waiting for an airlift to arrive, what else happened at the scene?
I continued to look for the other individual until I found out local doctors had picked him up, but mostly I tried to render aid to Mel as much as possible because he was hurt really badly. I mean, threw him literally off the cliffside. You know what I mean? So it was really bad.
Okay. And just to be clear, you said that they were both unconscious. Did they remain to be in this condition as far as you're aware?
Mel was briefly conscious, but fell unconscious for the entire time I was waiting. I ended up having to place Mel in my vehicle and transport him up to EMS because they were having trouble reaching him.
Okay. Did you overhear anything that was said before both of them fell off of the cliff?
I recall hearing a "Hey you" when Mel approached the gentleman. Then the gentleman just literally picked Mel up and threw him off the cliff. Like, I told him to stop. He literally just ignored it. Mel asked him to put him down. I'm not sure what that gentleman's intentions were, but yes, he did attack Mel and he did throw him off a cliff.
Okay, all right. The state has no further questions for this witness at this time.
Big D, I don't have the patience for it today. I swear to God, I'll just kick you out. I just don't have the patience. I gotta watch for people that are trying to get in here that can't talk. I'm trying to take notes in case Katya ends up going poof and everything else. My patience, 0. Don't try me right now.
All right. I think I've just got a few for you. All right, Officer Trina, you said you escorted Mr. Rickenbacker back to the hospital. Is that correct?
No, I escorted him. There's a fairly deep crevice, and Eugene was also injured, so EMS was attending to him on the reservoir side, and they were having difficulty coming back down and getting Mel. So I put him in my vehicle and transported him over to the ambulance because he was unconscious, and we didn't want to wait too long before rendering medical care.
Okay. Actually, I don't have anything else for Cross, but I would like to mark Officer Trina for recall.
God damn it, Big D, get it together.
Sorry.
We need to get her back up on the stand later to
Steve?
ask her about the first incident.
Bothering you, Mr. Braun?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
He's just having a little gassy. He'll be okay.
Okay, if the attorneys cannot hear what's being said, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Because I'm not gonna waste my time having things be repeated.
Scares the shit out of me.
So first of all, no hats in the courtroom, no masks in the courtroom. Let's get that addressed first.
Yeah, Dylan, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What's wrong with hats? It's a wave cap. My apologies. Fuck is
Oh,
wrong with a hat?
yeah, you're right.
Take it off. Take it off!
Grumpy bitch.
Alright? That's what you get. That's your punishment. No hats. No hats allowed.
Putting my
Continue.
hat back on in the stand.
We have no questions for redirect, Your Honor.
Yeah, you want to recall her though, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright. Did you want to redirect based on that one question?
No.
This is how
Alright,
thick
ma'am,
my
you may
penis
step down.
is.
You're up for recall, which means you will be called back up to the stand at some point.
Whenever it's our round, we'll get Eugene first, since I know he
Go ahead and call your next witness.
he'll be pretty close to when
Okay,
he
great. We would
normally
like to
goes
call
bed, so-
Sergeant Bass to the stand.
Yes, Bats, go ahead. Good luck.
I don't remember anything that That's a pussy.
Okay, Sergeant Bass.
Raise your left hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you, Nikes.
I do.
Morning.
We're swearing on brands now? How American.
Alright.
All right. Okay.
Swearing on brand.
Sir, before we begin again, could you please state your name and occupation for the court's record?
Absolutely. My name is Sam Bass. My occupation is a police officer. Rank is Sergeant in the LSPD. Badge number 450.
Okay. Were you involved with a pursuit on May 20th of this year involving Eugene Zuckerberg?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind telling us what happened during this pursuit?
Absolutely. So, I was leaving Pillbox after being treated when I witnessed Eugene and Mel right in front of Pillbox. And then afterwards, they jaywalked. So as a result, I took my cruiser, cut across Pillbox toward the sidewalk, and tried to give Eugene and Mel a jaywalking ticket. However, they refused the ticket, and they entered some sort of bus that veered into Elgin northbound, which turned into a police pursuit.
Okay, and what happened after that?
I believe the victim was one driving the bus. Mel and Eugene were the passenger. The chase ended with the bus diving into the body of water just east of the dam. I made my effort to focus on Eugene because he was the main suspect in the whole thing. And
Wow, another instance
when I
of
found
Pogan
Eugene,
trying to
he
kill me.
tried to attack me with
For
a knife.
prosecution.
That's when I fell back and opened fire at Eugene. He
Probably ask him about
also
that.
retreated to the body of water, which seemed like my shots were able to make contact with Eugene. He was rendered injured in the body of the water. I was able to retrieve him. However, I was busy with another call, so I left him to the EMS.
Okay, all right. And when was the next time that you saw the defendant?
At Pillbox.
Okay, and what led you there?
Thanks.
We got a radio from EMS James Prescott notifying myself and my cadet 555 DJ Walker
So much.
stating that Mel Rickenbacker is suffocating a patient inside Pillbox.
Okay, would you mind, if you would for me, referring to, one second, let me find the report number. Report number 23291.
Absolutely. I think I wrote that report.
I do believe you did.
All right, I have it up.
Okay, great. Were you the one who interviewed Prescott about this situation?
I was. Myself and my cadet.
Great. Would you mind telling us what Prescott informed you of?
When I talked to James regarding what happened, he said he witnessed Mel basically walk up to the victim and apply force with a pillow. It seemed like he was smothering him with a pillow. And the EMS stated multiple times to Mel to stop suffocating the patient with a pillow. He refused, and that's when he used his flashlight to attack Mel and knock him out.
Okay, great. And what happened when you arrived after he called you?
When I got there, I witnessed the EMS James Prescott escorting Mel to Nancy.
Okay, and did you know at this time what Pogan Laul's condition was?
Unknown, as far as I know, according to Cadet Karina, she stated that he fell off from the dam. So I wasn't sure exactly the extent of his injuries. As far as I know, he just fell from the dam.
Sorry, let me clarify. I mean when you arrived at Pillbox.
When I arrived at Pillbox, he was rushed into surgery because he had no pulse.
Okay. And when did you learn of Mr. Laul's death?
Roughly 15 minutes afterwards, when I was at Pillbox talking to EMS. He was being treated by a local doctor.
Mm-hmm. One second, just reviewing my notes. Okay, did Prescott inform you anything about sorry, I'll specify with names, Pogan Laul's response while he was being suffocated?
Can you elaborate more as far as that question? I'm a bit
Sure.
confused by it.
I'm going to give you some examples. Well, I would rather not, but pretty much, did Prescott give you any information as to whether or not Mr. Laul was struggling during this incident?
I don't remember.
Okay, all right. I'd like to just go down to the... you were the one who conducted this interview, correct?
Correct.
And you were the one who wrote this report?
Correct.
Okay, would you mind going to the second paragraph of witness testimony and tell us what that says?
Absolutely. Where it says walk back into the room?
Mm-hmm, yep, from there.
So it says right here, I walked back into the room to have Nancy take care of him. Heard Mel grunt, and he was actively smothering the patient full force with a pillow. No holding back. James Prescott told him to back off multiple times. Mel was grunting multiple times and growling, 6-7 times growling, In fear of the patient's life, Prescott went behind Mel and knocked him out with a flashlight. Took him to the bed so he can get treated. Call 911 as soon as possible.
Okay, all right. I don't believe we have any further questions for you at this time.
All right, would you like to cross?
I would, Your Honor. I've got a few. All right, Sergeant Bass, in that report that you just read off, in parentheses right beside flashlight, you have the word supposedly. What is the meaning of that precisely?
That's a good question, sir.
Were you the one who wrote this report?
I did.
Okay. What do you take that supposedly to mean then?
I take it like allegedly, the same way.
Okay. So allegedly knocked him out. Where would we apply that allegedly in a report that you wrote? Would we apply it to knocking him out with a flashlight, or in fear of the patient's life, or where would that go?
Well, based on my interview with James Prescott, I would say based on the patient's, fear of his life, right?
Okay, so supposedly in fear of the patient's life is the reading there.
Correct.
Okay, you testified that you knew that Mr. Laul was at the hospital, correct?
I did see him at the hospital, correct.
And you knew that he had fallen off the dam?
Correct.
Okay, did you know the context of how he had fallen off that dam?
Yes, I talked to Officer Trina about it.
Okay, did yourself or any other officers go to the hospital, given that he had attempted to throw Mr. Rickenbacker off of the dam?
We had Officer Trina go back to the hospital with him. I had a suspect in custody, Eugene, who was critical, and I was waiting for EMS. I was actually trying to save his life.
Okay, so you stayed behind with Mr. Zuckerberg then?
Correct.
Understood, okay. You testify you focused on Eugene because he was the main suspect. What was he the main suspect of precisely?
He was the first one to jaywalk and refused to ticket.
Okay. At the time you saw them jaywalking, where were they jaywalking from?
Pillbox Upper, and they made like a diagonal across toward the sidewalk across from Pillbox Upper.
Did you encounter either of them inside of Pillbox Upper?
Negative. I only saw. Are you talking to? Hold on a second. Are you talking as far as the first incident or the second incident?
The beginning of the first incident, prior to seeing
no, I never
jaywalk.
saw him inside at all. I only saw him outside.
Okay. And prior to that, you had been inside getting treatment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you testified that the decedent, Mr. Laul, was the one driving this bus.
Correct.
How did you see him after he drove that bus into the water?
No, actually, I didn't. I had other officers focus on him while I was focusing on Eugene, as far as, police pursuit.
Okay. Who were the other officers that you had focus on him?
I believe I had my cadet and Officer Trina and Officer Walker focus on the other two suspects while I was focused on Eugene. I do believe there was one more officer that was involved, but I don't recall his name.
All right. So just using the process of deduction, if Trina was focusing on Mr. Rickenbacker, then it must have been Walker who was focusing on Laul's location.
I don't remember exactly, details as far as who was going after who.
Okay, that's perfectly understandable. I believe that is all that I've got for you. Let me check my notes just to be sure. Upon arriving at Pillbox later that evening after you received the call from Prescott, were you made aware of Mr. Rickenbacker's condition at that time?
Affirm. I was told he was knocked out with a flashlight.
Okay, and was Mr. Rickenbacker taken into custody that evening?
He was.
Okay. And just to clarify for the court's record, you did not witness any altercation that occurred between the plaintiff and or the defendant and Mr. Laul.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I've got no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Would you like to redirect?
Yes, we have just one question.
Hang on. I just, Your Honor, can I just we may have another question. I just want to verify something with my colleague here.
Yeah, what's going on?
Did he fucking say that Pogan Laul showed up without a pulse before Mel even did anything? Did I hear that right?
No,
Nice weather we're
I
having,
think
huh?
he was testifying that he had no pulse after the incident when he was taken back
Careful,
into surgery.
Careful, Bass.
All right, I just wanted to make sure of that.
I mean, you can go up there and clarify the timeline if you
no.
want to.
Wait, why are you saying careful?
No, that's fine.
All right, we're good, Your Honor.
You're right.
All right, you may redirect.
Okay, great. Just one question for you, Sergeant. Do you have any reason to believe that Mr. Prescott's statement about what happened between Pogan Laul and Rickenbacker at Pillbox is unreliable?
No, I don't.
Okay, or anything that he said over batch?
No.
Did anything that you saw on scene contradict what he told you?
No.
Okay, did anything in there substantiate what he told you?
No.
So you're saying that nothing on the scene validated his statement?
Wait, I'm confused by questioning.
Did
I'm
anything...
saying-
Uh-huh.
I'm saying exactly what he told me is what happened.
Okay. Did you see anything on the scene that supported what he said?
I did. The patient not breathing,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing Mel get knocked out by the EMS.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Is this witness up for recall?
Give me one moment, Your Honor. I've got nothing else for Bass. I think we can cut him loose. Unless you'd like to dive into it more.
I don't know. He's probably more of a liability than anything.
Let's
Yeah.
kill him.
No, Your Honor. We're good with Sergeant Bass.
All right, Officer Harris, you may step
Okay.
down. Sergeant, excuse me.
Am I all good to go?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant
Our
Bass.
next witness.
Bald.
Our next and final witness due to Prescott's absence is going to be Dr. Villain.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Please raise your left hand.
Yes, sir.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Slasher.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, great. Could you please, for the court's record, state your full name and occupation?
My name is Dr. Roscoe Villain, currently a resident at Pillbox Medical.
Okay. Were you on duty when the defendant, Mel Rickenbacker, was admitted to Pillbox Medical on the 20th of May this year?
I was indeed on duty.
Were you on duty when Pogan Laul was admitted at Pillbox Medical on this day?
I was also on duty at that time.
Okay. Do you know what the status of Mr. Laul was when he was admitted?
No, unfortunately, I was too busy with another surgery at the time.
Okay, all right. When did you become aware of Mr. Laul's admission?
After I spoke with the officers and they stated that he had passed away.
Okay, all right. Did you examine his body after he was declared deceased?
I did examine his body.
What did you deduce from the patient's, from your professional examination?
From my brief examination or examination that I did at the time, the patient had a blunt force trauma to the head. He had some type of injury to the head. Scratches all over his face, and his face looked somewhat smushed in, as though something was being pushed on it.
Could you elaborate a bit more about what exactly you saw that was pushed in?
Well, his nose seemed somewhat bent, and his lips were pushed in a weird way.
Okay. Were you able to professionally deduce anything that might have led from the brief moment that you had with the patient that might have led
This is gonna be
to his
this is gonna be
death?
good, guys. I'm not gonna spoil what I'm about
Unfortunately,
to do.
no. I mean, it
I'm not
could
gonna
have been
spoil it.
from, the blunt force trauma or any other thing. I was only there to inspect the body. I was unable to deduce exactly what caused the death.
Okay, no worries. Have you reviewed the autopsy report for Mr. Laul?
I have reviewed it, yes.
Okay, would you mind pulling it up if you
yeah.
haven't already? Great.
Let me just pull it up real quick on that.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it might be really good. We'll see what
Oh.
happens.
Literally just said there's no way to be sure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was
Yeah.
from fall or the smuggling.
Yep, he certainly did.
Alrighty,
I've
I
also
have it
got something
pulled
else
up.
really good for this, considering that he just
Okay.
testified that he
Would
didn't know
you
Laul
mind
was there
going
until he was
over,
dead.
Would you mind going over what this autopsy report's breaking it down for us, if you will?
Yes, of course. Mr. Pogan Laul came into Pillbox Medical with serious trauma to his head and some suffocation. This is, as per the coroner stated, the cause of death, which was either due to blunt force trauma or due to asphyxiation. The manner of death here states that it was homicide and that blunt force trauma injuries were formed due to falling off a cliff. And of course, the patient had multiple cuts and scrapes all over the body. Patient had bruising on his face and neck, as if the patient were suffocated, asphyxiated with some kind of pillow. That's what the autopsy report states.
Okay. Does what is stated in this report line up with what you saw in the patient?
From the injuries that I saw in the patient, I would say yes.
Okay. Does what is stated in this report line up with your professional evaluation of the patient's injuries?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And then if you would, I'm not sure, I might have just not heard you, but could you please clarify, above that little paragraph describing what caused the manner of death, could you please let us know what that was classified as?
I do apologize. Are you trying to find out the cause of death? Like the...
No,
like
right
above the
below the
paragraph?
cause of death. It's the first line in manner of death.
Homicide. Yes, homicide.
Okay. All right, great. I don't believe I have any further questions for you. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Right, you may cross.
I'm gonna kill the prosecutor.
All right, Dr. Fallon, give me 1 second here. Let me straighten these notes out.
No.
Oh yes, take your time. Take your time. I'm so stressed.
Don't be stressed out, Dr. Fallon. If you need to take a deep breath, drink some water, feel free to do that. We're just having a conversation here. You just got to be truthful during that conversation, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So you, I just want to clarify something you stated. You just testified you were not aware of Mr. Laul's admission to the hospital until after you were informed he had passed away. Is that correct?
I believe what the ADA stated was, did I know of his situation? I knew that there was another patient that was in surgery, but I didn't know who it was.
Okay. And how did you know there was another patient that was in surgery?
Well, because I advised the local surgeons to take care of him.
Okay. All right. The police report on this matter, it states, we found the suspect at Lower Pillbox. Did you find Mr. Rickenbacker at Lower Pillbox?
During the time when Pogan Laul came in? Are we talking about the exact same time, or?
At roughly the same time, probably a little bit before.
So unfortunately, during the entire situation with how busy I was, I actually didn't see Melbert the entire time, unfortunately.
Okay. Did you see Mr. Laul at all?
I did. Well, obviously after when I had to inspect him.
After the fact, okay.
Yeah.
Did EMS James Prescott ever confer with you about a patient awaiting surgery?
He did, but I was doing surgery with another patient at the time, so I advised him to put the other patient into surgery with the local surgeons.
Okay. All right. I want to refer to the autopsy report at this time, so I'm going to flip on over to that. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but this is somewhat unusual for me. Under the manner of death, there are several items listed there. You've already read them off. Blunt force trauma due to falling off of a cliff, multiple cuts and scrapes all over the body, and then bruising. In your professional opinion, were these all proximate causes of Mr. Laul's death?
Objection, speculation.
It's not speculation. He's already been classified as an expert witness and asked damn near similar questions by the prosecution.
He has been entered as an expert witness, but he was not directly involved with examining Mr. Laul's corpse.
Your Honor, he's a doctor with all due respect. He knows how to read a medical report.
Uh-oh.
Got you.
I would like to apologize if I broke the judge.
You're gonna take over, Judge Arson.
Alrighty.
Oh fuck!
Oh.
All right.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. No. Sustain, but you can rephrase. I know what you're trying to ask. Rephrase it in a manner that would be more general purpose.
All right. Dr. Villain, generally speaking, are all items listed under the manner of death section of an autopsy report considered to be proximate causes of the death of the patient being examined?
They are. They are indeed.
Okay, fantastic. And just to clarify, once again for the court's record, you had not examined Mr. Laul at all until he was already deceased, correct?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, so yeah, it would be impossible for you to ascertain how serious his injuries were prior to any of the alleged events transpiring.
No, unfortunately.
All right. I've got nothing else for Dr. Villain at this time, but I would like to mark him for recall as to other exhibits that we're going to be seeking to enter.
Very good. Doctor, you... Wait, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. ADA Bunbury, do you wish to redirect?
No, I have no more questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I go back, sir? I'm so sorry.
Yes, sir. You may
This
step
doctor's
down.
adorable, dude.
Please note you have been subject to recall. I need you to remain in the area. When and if you are recalled, you will still be under oath.
Yes, sir.
Put the goddamn box away.
Sorry, Your Honor,
got
she refused.
Sorry.
Do you want me to kick her out?
Nope, she's fine.
Do you want to get Eugene up there
Okay,
first so that he
she's
can go to bed,
razor
or?
thin.
Oh, I'm alright. I'm in a
Mr.
rush.
Lumberg,
Oh, you're in no rush. Okay, perfect.
That was our final witness, Your Honor.
What did you have in there?
Why don't we request a recess so we can go over our side before we go?
Okay, sounds good.
I wanted to get my
Yeah, PSS. We need a recess and
We need a
PSS.
PSS.
in the box?
We need a
It's a gun.
yeah. We need a regular recess, but
We need
also
a
a
PSS.
PSS.
All right, Mr. Bunbury, are you resting your case?
Sorry. Yes. Yes. We are now resting, Your Honor.
All right. 5-minute recess, 10-minute recess. What do y'all need?
10-minute would probably be best.
Colts in 10-minute recess.
All right, let's go next door
What are you doing here,
Yeah.
Dan?
so we can pee and then have a real recess.
Whoa!
Yeah,
got
come with us, Mr. Zuckerberg.
I need a PSS.
Oh,
We'll all pee together. It'll be great.
Recess,
gonna win.
recess. Case, Mel.
We're gonna
Well,
head
we'll
next
piss
door.
together.
Got this. Together or on each other? Nice try, fuckstick.
It was
Hey
a
Mel, this walk is fast enough to tackle people.
It's wait, really?
Eugene,
Oh my god.
And
That's great.
yeah,
Well,
over in the judge's office, guys.
Right behind you.
Oh,
Up on the top of the stairs. I'm gonna go piss in this bush.
I'm bringing him.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so I don't actually have to pee. So anybody who doesn't have to pee, like, let's talk about game plan. All right, so so Eugene, you were like pretty much there the whole time, and you can account for all of the times that have been mentioned already by the cops that this dude was trying to kill Mel that day up until this moment. You can pretty much
Wait, who was trying to kill Mel? Oh, that guy, right?
the guy,
yeah.
the dead bitch.
Yeah, the
Sure,
dead
I
guy.
don't remember anything. Just tell me what to lie about.
So
I mean, it sounds like you were actually there, though. It sounds like you don't even have to lie.
Yeah, it's
Like-
so long ago. I feel like I don't even fucking remember. Bear shot me, and I went into the ICU. I think.
Oh.
I'll just lie. Yeah,
So,
he was trying to murder Mel.
So one of the primary ones, I guess, prior to this, you guys were riding around in that tour bus. And the guy was trying to tattoo Mel, trying to tattoo like the word meerkat on his leg or something along those lines.
Yeah, I remember.
And he like negligently struck a vein and then just started laughing about it.
He's a sicko. Yeah, he was trying to kill Mel.
Yeah, started laughing about it. Struck an artery. Mel was fucking bleeding everywhere. The doctor had to bust out a blowtorch to cauterize the artery.
Yeah, he said he was gonna kill Mel, and he chased him around with a knife. He was wild. He was wild.
Yeah.
And were you there? Were you there when he got dropped off the cliff?
Sure.
No, really, were you?
I don't remember any of this.
No,
at all.
he would. Bass already testified that Eugene was shot down at that
anything.
point. So.
Okay.
Right, but Bess did also leave. So if there's no doctor to clarify that I went into the ICU, I could just carry on lying.
I mean,
Bess
basically,
left
the
at
only
that
thing
point.
I
He didn't
really
even know I
need,
went to the ICU. He dropped me with the hospital and fucked off.
the only thing we need you to lie about is just like, you know, when I ask you something like, "Oh, were you aware of some beef between these two?"
Just bait the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, just like,
Oh,
"Were you aware of some
genius.
beef?" So when I get there, we'll find a way to get there, and then we talk about how much this guy had it in for Mel. He was trying to write
long
weird
beef.
stuff in his leg, and he was trying to kill him, threatening to kill him, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, all right, sounds good.
And then you saw him do whatever.
What could go wrong?
Whatever the cop said that you saw.
Yeah, all right, perfect. Sounds good. I like this.
I mean,
All
Mel
right,
is
perfect.
he's definitely going to jail for something today. So, you know,
Damn
there's
it.
really no pressure, honestly.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to be completely honest. I would not be surprised if we got a manslaughter charge out of this.
That's the goal.
That's
you
easy.
know, that's kind of the goal. But,
Yeah, just take a manslaughter, easy.
I mean, this guy was a piece of shit, okay? And he was trying to kill Mel. So we should probably get a manslaughter charge out of this. All
Yeah,
right, the other
well.
thing is, are we letting Mel take the stand? I think we should.
I think you should.
I think we should let Mel say whatever he wants up there.
Yeah, I think
If,
so too. Mel said to me, say dementia shit.
I don't think it's a good idea to put Mel up there, but if he wants to go, we should let him and let it be in his hands how he wants to go out, you know? Because I believe this guy was trying to kill him, and Mel needs to be able to tell his story for that defense.
Oh, I
to work.
agree.
Yeah, I also think it's the last time that I put a defendant on the stand, the judge overruled every objection I had as to scope and let the defendant kind of basically cornered the defendant and made them testify to a bunch of shit that they shouldn't have even been testifying to in the first place. But if that's what Mel wants to do, if he wants to go up there and, you know, paint the picture for this thing, then I'm not opposed to it.
All right, does Mel know where we're talking when he's done peeing?
Probably not.
Fucking hell.
Mel's stupid.
Yeah, he is, and I saw everybody refuse to pay for his bail because they knew that he would violate it, and they'd be
Exactly, precisely.
$175,000.
Well, that's because they broke him out of prison that same night, so.
Yeah, it probably costs like a fraction of what it probably cost in the past to do a prison break.
Wouldn't his... Oh, that's a curious thing. Wouldn't his time, like, frozen the second he broke out, so he'd have, like, prison break and a bunch of other shit?
All right, here's the thing: that's a really good question, which means you could probably either luck out and they'll just completely forget about it
Yeah,
because
they
that's the
probably
way the
forget.
system works, or they're really on top of it and they just give you like an open-ended warrant forever or something. I don't know. Like it all depends. Sometimes it's
probably
good.
forgot.
Sometimes it's best to take your chances that no one's going to remember you did something. 'Cause, I mean, I shot a guy and I ran from the police and nothing happened to me.
They forget things all the time now. These cops don't remember anything now. They're losing it. They can't even be bothered to
luck of
write
the draw.
warrants. Yeah, they don't write warrants anymore. I've shot so many cops and stole their rifles and with no mask on lately, and they don't raid me. They don't do anything.
I'm gonna go pee on this water cooler.
Yeah, let's go outside. We should be good, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah, we need to talk to Mel. Let me see.
if
All right,
it's gonna be
I need to do a quick BRB. My dog is panicking, and I need another bottle of water.
Crane. He's pissing on the water cooler.
Okay.
Hey, listen, are you wanting to tell your story on the stand? Because Yo, we don't have much time.
All right. Did somebody just come up here? I feel like somebody was behind me when I was sitting back down.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Did you talk? Me and Murphy were just talking about what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So you want to go up on the stand then?
Yeah, absolutely. And then Eugene's gonna go after me.
Okay, beautiful. Yep. I've got no issues with that. Murphy's gonna take your line of questioning, so
Okay.
just whenever they're cross-examining you, just buy a little time.
What's that?
Whenever they're cross-examining you, just buy a little time. That
Yeah, of
way,
course.
you know, if I need to object, I can slide something in there.
Yeah, you got it.
Just a wild Murphy peeping.
I will not have this in my court. I don't have the
No mask
patience.
off, Eugene.
I don't
have the
I
patience.
don't have the patience.
That's actually pretty good.
I will
I
have
don't
you
have to.
escorted out of this court.
That sounds more like Bailey.
That is
That sounds
I
more
don't
like
have the
Bailey.
patience.
Where the fuck are they then, huh?
Who? Patience?
Hey,
Yeah.
can you hire
Do
him
my
as a
voice.
judge?
Someone do my voice.
I'm okay.
Someone
Okay.
do my voice.
I'm not okay. I would like a bandage.
Oh, shut your ass up. Ain't nobody trying to hear your punk ass.
Got his ass.
Well, me?
Can I have a band-aid?
I can't do your voice, actually. It's really hard. I think about it.
Right,
Can I have a band-aid?
right. All good, no worries.
I
There's
think
one
I'd be
for
able
you.
to at this point.
Aren't you supposed to preside over this? Aren't you supposed
Mr. Zuckerberg,
Crane, are you prepared to
Oh.
proceed?
Mr. Zuckerberg, I will
Whoa.
have you escorted
Your
out
Honor,
of this
I
court.
believe
I
we,
will escort
I
your
can't see
fucking
Murphy
dick out
if
of
he's
my
here.
mother's asshole.
He's not. I don't see him.
He's
I
not.
Okay.
don't see Murphy back.
Yeah, you heard.
Okay, yeah, we're just waiting
Oh,
on
fuck
him
you,
to
my mother.
return real quick.
Alrighty, we'll give him a couple more minutes.
Hey, do we look like we're in a K-pop group together?
Not really, no. Oh, you two?
That
Thank
means
you,
y'all have
uh,
to
Who is that
Yeah.
other guy?
grab assing for a bit longer.
We're
And
in
Jeebus,
BTS.
we've
We're
met
both in
multiple times.
BTS.
Claire, I got
You
that
two look so
picture.
similar.
BTS are heroes.
Yeah, it's weird.
I got that picture of you in the trunk
It's
with
weird.
somebody.
Yeah, why are you copying people? He's right. He does have that. You see that already? Sickos.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't have any sandwiches. I'm all out. Oh, in BTS, is that what
Fuck
you What do you mean?
Hey, some.
Oh, fuck you.
Braun is back.
All right, so do you want me to do the officer and the doctor first, and then you do these two, or what?
Oh, fuck, are we gonna get stressed out?
All right, here's what we
I will
agreed
literally
on.
leave this
While you were
place. I'll
pissing.
literally leave.
All
I'll
right,
leave.
you know, we
Please.
might need
Go
to
ahead, beat him with
cover
a
up,
stick, Toretti.
you know, whatever Mel fucks up later. So we want Mel to go before Eugene,
Knock.
because that will also help with Eugene.
All right, you guys
All
gotta
right,
stop
you
drinking
do.
those,
All right, go ahead and do
judge's
Mel,
orders.
Eugene,
Hold
then
it,
I'll
Toretti,
do
do what he does best.
Katarina, and then we'll do the doc.
Fuck
Oh, I thought you were
Control
gonna
these
do Mel,
women.
That
All right.
you
Shit.
should
No,
Control
I-
it already.
why should I do
cause
Mel?
violence.
because I'm doing Eugene. You do Mel.
Stop drinking.
There we go.
Fucking missed.
Oh, yeah, she's
No, he
drowning.
didn't.
Good.
Nah, she
Hey,
tased the
Mo.
Arrested.
Yeah, no, he
Public intoxication.
he took care
Please
of it.
arrest her.
Sorry, Your Honor.
No, you're fine.
At Mantis.
shit.
Like I said, you need to go ahead and beat that ass with a stick there, Toretti. I don't care. All right. Mr. Crane, Mr. Braun, are you prepared to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are ready, Your Honor.
All right, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
All right, the defense would call Mr. Melbert Rickenbacker to the stand.
Okay.
All right, Mel, I got to read you the warnings.
Okay.
All right, come on up here, Mel.
Yeah.
All right, Mel, you understand that by taking the stand and testifying today, you are waiving your Fifth Amendment right.
Aye, aye, Captain.
And you understand that in doing so, you're opening yourself up to cross-examination by the Assistant District Attorney.
Oui.
And you also further understand that if you choose to reassert your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, which you may do at any time, I will be forced to strike your testimony in its entirety from the record.
Ah.
And understanding all this, you are still wishing to waive your Fifth Amendment rights and testify at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, Toretti, go ahead and swear him in.
Raise your left hand, Mel.
Okay.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Will help you, Wayne.
Okay.
That's right. It's sworn to me.
All right, sir. Will you please say your name for the record?
I'm Melbert Rickenbacker.
All right, Mr. Rickenbacker. Had you met Mr. Pogan Laul before May 20th, 2020?
No.
Okay. How many interactions did you have with him that day?
Oh, several.
Okay. Can you briefly describe that first interaction for the court?
God, it's all just amalgamated into one long interaction. There was so much. He wanted to film for his internet video on his internet video, and he had this idea where we'd get a bunch of people on a tour bus, but then instead of giving them a tour, we'd just kill them. He had this idea. If you've ever seen the first Jackass movie where Steve-O goes off-road and gets a tattoo while off-roading, he wanted to do that to me, and he did it to my leg, but he stabbed really deep intentionally and just kept stabbing and stabbing, and then he cut my femoral artery, and I almost died.
All right, let's pause on that one right there.
Okay.
Whenever this tour bus tattoo happened, did you receive
Yeah.
medical treatment for that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. How bad was that injury?
I nearly died. I bled out a lot. It was my femoral artery.
Okay. Who was your treating physician for that?
I don't recall. I don't think it was Dr. Villain. I think it was the doctor who wears the beret with the white pants.
Okay. And what sort of treatment did you receive in relation to that? Do you remember?
He cauterized my leg shut. The vein, the artery.
Okay. All right. Let's continue to the next interaction that you had with Mr. Laul. What was that?
Well, there was the jaywalking incident, as mentioned by Officer Bob, where we ran across and got into a bus, and he was driving, and then in another attempt to take me out, he launched the bus into the dam, the water. He tried to drown me.
Okay. And did you inhale any water or asphyxiate at any point during that?
I made it to shore, thank the Lord.
Okay. Did you run into any police officers after you made it ashore?
After I made it to shore, I started a little walk back, and that's when I ran into Officer Blonde back behind you. She said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know." And she gave me a ride. And then when she was giving me a ride, I saw Pogan. I wasn't really aware of how bad he wanted me to die at this point, so I got out of the car and went over to him and said, "Are you okay?" And he grabbed me. He grabbed me. He flinged me off of cliff.
How roughly did he grab you?
He tossed me like an Irish whip, but there was no ropes to go into it. It was cliff.
Did he say anything before he threw you off the cliff?
I think he whispered in my ear, "This is the end for you."
Okay. Whispered into your ear, "This is the end for you." And
that could have just been my subconscious thinking I was gonna die, but it definitely sounded like him.
All right. And do you recall anything that happened between when you fell to the bottom of that ravine and when you awoke in Pillbox Medical?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like noted for the court's record today, Mel?
This guy was trying to kill me repeatedly. Documented. And he cut my fucking leg open. You heard the testimony. He launched the fucking bus into the water. Threw me off of a fucking cliff. When I was standing in the hospital.
Objection narrative.
I'll withdraw it this time. I've got no further questions for Mr. Rickenbacker.
I've got a couple, just one or two.
That's why I have two lawyers. You see that?
Come on, Murphy.
Mel, I just would like to ask, for the record, could you clarify because he's been mentioned, the involvement of your friend Eugene Zuckerberg in the events on the day in question.
When the bus was launched into the ravine in the jaywalking incident, he was on the bus too.
He was on the bus with you and Mr.
He
Laul.
was on the bus with us a lot of the time. When I got stabbed in the leg, he was there, but he was on his phone playing poker. But he was there.
He was on his
To the
phone
best of your
playing
knowledge,
poker.
Was Mr. Zuckerberg aware of any ongoing friction between you and Mr. Laul?
Well, he saw it all. He
Alright.
saw every last bit of it. Except me getting thrown off the cliff. I believe Officer Bast attempted to murder him before that.
All right, thank you, Mel.
Okay.
Cross.
All right.
Are you listening to that?
Got a few questions for you, Mr. Rickenbacker. If you're confused by any of them, just go ahead and let me know, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so you say that when you initially met Mr. Laul,
Yeah.
he had brought up a scheme where he wanted to bring people on a tour bus and kill them.
Yes.
He told you this,
Yes.
and then you voluntarily got on the bus.
No, he told me after we were already on the bus. He said, I want to give tours. And then after he was driving pedal to the metal, he said, we're going to kill everybody who gets on this bus.
Okay, and what did you do after that?
I sat there in fear while the doors were locked and he drove 100 miles an hour.
Okay, and sorry, could you just remind me, what was the next time that you saw him after this?
When we made it to the jaywalking incident.
Okay, could you tell us how you got from the bus to that jaywalking incident?
Well, there was a point where when we got the bus to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and then, oh yeah, that was when he stabbed my fucking leg open. And we went to the hospital. And then when we did the jaywalking,
They stole a cop car?
Eugene and I ran to the bus, but we didn't know Pogan was in it. He was in the driver's seat, so as soon as we got on the bus, he just drove off again. We were merely trying to criminally evade a jaywalking charge.
Okay, and you got on a bus without you.
I hobbled
Okay,
due to the aforementioned femoral injury.
how many doors are there to this bus?
There were 2 front door buses, but then it's like a pickup truck bus where all the seats are in the truck bed.
All the seats are in the trunk.
Yeah, it's a bus, so it's like it's open in the back. We jumped into the I jumped into the back, and Eugene tried to get into the driver's seat. He hopped into the passenger seat and attempted to scoot over to the driver, evade the jaywalking charge. But Pogan was already in the driver's seat, and he drove off. And I was in the back, and no Pogan was driving because I couldn't see into the back. So I thought Eugene was driving off, and then I heard Pogan's his ghastly squeal.
Okay, and
His
after
ghastly
this, when was the
squeal.
next time that you saw him?
Hey, thank you so much, Sinner.
This was all the same incident. Oh, he drove to the quarry, launched the bus into the water. I struggled, swam to shore, walked up to the top of the cliff, got in the police car. We drove literally maybe 10 feet, and he was just there on the top of the cliff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I pointed at Carolina. I said, "That's the guy! It's the guy!"
Mm-hmm.
In a mad dash, I got out of the car, and she got out of the car too. That's when he threw me off the.
Okay, and you said after you woke up at Pillbox Medical, you didn't remember what happened before then, correct?
No, that's not true.
Okay, just go ahead and tell me what you did say then.
When I woke up at Pillbox,
Mm-hmm.
I don't much remember. My leg had been gashed open and surgically healed. My skull was fucked because I got thrown
I'm
off
going
of a
to,
mountain top.
I'm also going to object to this on scope. We didn't ask about anything that happened after he arrived at Pillbox.
He said after he awoke at Pillbox that he didn't remember what occurred.
Well, that's when you object.
The question that I had asked him and what he answered was whether he remembered anything in between falling to the bottom of the ravine and waking up at Pillbox. Not letting you crack that scope open. Stop that, Bunbury. Stop it.
I am going to overrule this one, and here's why. It seems to me you're asserting a positive defense here for Mr. Rickenbacker. So I believe that the probative value of this particular line of questioning is going to outweigh. So you're overruled.
I remember being chucked off of a cliff. I have little blips of consciousness where they were medicaling me on the ground at the cliff. I remember, I think I was airlifted. I'm not positive. I remember getting to hospital. I remember waking up from hospital. I remember. I went to hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And okay, and if I may, Your Honor, you can go ahead and tell me if this is not what you were implying, but would you mind telling me what happened after you woke up?
I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hobbled a little bit. And I noticed Pogan Laul laying in his hospital bed.
Fucking send
And
it
I
out
was
of the
very
park.
nervous. I was shaking because of the bus incident where he tried to throw me in the water and drown me.
Take over objections for a
Because of
second.
the
I
leg
gotta
incident
think
where
about
he
something.
gashed my leg open in an attempt to end my life. Because of the cliff incident where he literally threw me off of it. I approached him. I said, Pocket, are you gonna leave me alone? Why are you trying to end my life? And I was just scared. I was tearing up a little bit, and he looked up at me with his gaunt little skinny eyes, and he said, he reached up and he grabbed my shirt collar. And he said, Melbert,
Sorry.
as soon
Had
as
to-
my feet touched this floor, and he started pulling a little bit to try to get support on me to stand up. He said, I'm gonna pull this knife out of my pocket, and I'm gonna slit your fucking throat until you bleed all over this hospital floor. And I panicked. I had a panic attack. I grabbed the pillow in self-defense. I did all I could. I put the pillow on him,
All right, I'm
and
good.
then unconscious. I got bopped by the mag light.
Okay, all right.
He wouldn't stop. He even in his last breath, he spent it trying to end my life.
Okay. I know this might be difficult for you, Mr. Rickenbacker,
So this is
but I
a-
want
this is a
to try to
win-win
break
for
this
us.
down as much as you can, okay? It's very important for this case, okay? And especially for you, okay? You said that he said he was going to pull out a knife.
Yeah.
Did he?
No, he's criminal threatened me.
Okay, he criminal threatened you.
Criminal threatened me.
Trying to pull himself up. So as soon as I get up, you're gonna die. And he was
Okay.
trying to get up.
He was trying to get up.
He was pulling
Did
on
he
me.
ever get up?
I disarmed the assailant before he had the chance.
So he didn't have a knife on him.
No, but he was assaulting me in the moment.
Okay. Where was the closest door?
About 15, 20, 30, 40 feet behind us.
Okay. And where were you in relation to Pogan? You were in the same room together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was right next to him.
You were right next to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was the door in relation to you two?
About 30, 20, 30 feet, 15, 30, 40 feet behind us.
Okay,
Each
all
corner.
right. And instead of going to the door, you went to him to see if he was going to harm you again.
Yeah.
Okay. And when this happened, why didn't you run?
He had a hold of me.
He had a hold of you.
Yeah, he reached up and was grabbed onto me.
Okay. And he was still holding on to you while you were putting the pillow over his face?
The pillow situation, I'm gonna level with you,
Mm-hmm.
was about 2 to 3 seconds. I don't know if he had emphysema or some lung something or another. He just gone real quick. He must have been dying already
Okay, all right.
from trying to throw me off of a cliff.
Did things feel like they were moving very fast at this time?
God, it was. I think I was panicked. It was all. I don't know. I don't know if it felt like slow motion. I don't know if it felt like fast. I just knew this little man just cut my leg open and threw me into the water and threw me off of a cliff. He had a hold of me saying, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Soon, right now.
What was he doing while you had the pillow over him?
Dying.
Mr. Rickenbacker,
Yeah,
what was he doing while you had the pillow over his face?
he was dying.
Yeah, objection asked and answered.
Sorry, I did not hear.
He was dying.
I'm going. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, all right. Did you hear anyone else saying anything while this was happening?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Just give me one moment. Okay, all right. I have no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Rickenbacker.
Okay.
All right, redirect, please.
I've only got one question. All right. I want to get to something that you hinted at very much during those last 6 or 7 questions, but may not have said entirely. Mr. Rickenbacker, were you afraid of Mr. Pogan Laul?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
What?
don't fear a lot of people, but oh yeah.
Why were you afraid of him?
He was trying to kill me repeatedly. You know, I'm kind of out there, but this guy was actively attempting to end my life. This was a murderous man.
Understood, Mr. Rickenbacker. Thank you. I've got nothing further. Murphy might have one or two.
Yeah, I got a couple. Mel, as you'll recall, the prosecutor questioned you about the distance you were from the door.
Yeah.
As far as why you did not try to flee.
Mhm.
Now again, with the fact in mind that you had what, done a nosedive off a cliff?
Correct. Yes.
So, I just want to clarify. Is it easy to flee when you are injured and in
No.
hospital?
No, I had surgery on my leg.
Correct,
I fell
from the
off a
prior
fucking
incident.
cliff. I was in a car accident that ended me underwater. Yeah, I say I walked to him, but I more or less hobbled. I think I said I hobbled.
You did say you hopped.
I didn't think I was in danger with him lying in a bed, a hospital bed, but I was wrong. I'll find out when I got here.
That's all I wanted to clarify. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Rickenbacker.
All right, Mel, you may step down. Thank you.
Okay.
You did great, Mel. You need anything?
No, I'm okay.
Brave. Really brave, Mel.
That was true.
All right. The defense would next call Mr. Eugene Zuckerberg to the stand.
All right,
Ooh.
Eugene, come on up.
That's you.
You, that's you.
Oh, that's me. Oh, I forgot my name.
Oh no.
Are we
Yeah,
still
I'm
doing no
Eugene,
hats, sir?
This is a respectable hat. I should be allowed this, right?
That's a mayor alumni hat.
Oh,
Your Honor,
you can tell
please.
Bryce to take his hat off, though.
Only if he's being good. Only
You
good
know
boys
what?
get to wear their hats.
Yes.
You know what? Eugene's been pretty good.
Yes.
I think we can let him go.
Okay.
Thank
It's
you,
a
Your
mayor
Honor.
alumni hat. But thank you, Your Honor.
Your honors.
Yeah.
Excuse me, your
Oh,
honors.
Your honors.
honors. Thank you,
both
Your
of us.
honors.
Yeah,
Thank you, all of you.
You're welcome.
All right, Eugene, raise your left hand,
There's
please.
a Wi-Fi dongle under here. I need to keep running.
All right. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me, Elburn.
So help you who?
Elburn.
Who?
I'm sorry, what?
Who?
Elburn.
Elburn?
He's saying
He's
airborne.
Elburn.
Yes, I swear.
Elspeth?
Melbourne?
Okay, he's sworn in, Your Honor.
What the hell is this bailiff wearing a helmet?
It's Toretti.
Well-
Did you just hear how he pronounced airborne?
probably
He needs
has
to
to
hear how
wear
he
one now.
pronounced airborne.
He's-
The helmet
Yeah.
constricting his
Keep
brain.
all the-
I,
everything
I
inside.
withdraw
Is that
my
why he was
objection to the
talking like
helmet.
that?
Hold on, Koch, you
he got
said good boys
concussion.
wear hats. So,
It's not a
So
hat.
not you then, Pavetti.
The
Sorry,
helmet.
you're like a dick hair close to getting charged with accessory to murder.
Okay, that's don't
Not
spread
wrong.
don't spread lies like
Wait,
that.
you guys
Wait,
have
what are
big
you
hairs?
talking about? We'll talk about that later.
All right.
Gotta
Go
go to
ahead.
his funeral.
All right, we're good though.
Melbourne?
You are all set. Mr. Zuckerberg is sworn in. He's sworn to
Hello.
airborne,
All right.
This is gonna
which
be a
means that
fucking
should
mess.
he lie, a black cat is going to descend from on high, scratch the back down, scratch
I
his
mean, as
back,
long as he was
fuck
paying
his suit
attention,
up,
we should be fine. So
and
50-50.
probably give him some kind of disease.
He's a senior citizen.
I'm
He'll be
sure
fine.
of it.
I'm good.
I'll be fine.
All right. He'll die before he faces any consequences.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I think
Of
I
old
think that-
age.
I think the cat will get him.
Wait, what the fuck did
Wait,
you just
what
say?
the
to
hell
me?
did you just say, Murphy?
I'm saying.
What
Never
the
mind.
fuck did you just
Now
say
is
about
not
me?
the
It's
time.
all right. You know what, Eugene? Now is not the time. We'll take him out back and beat him with a stick later.
Say the word, Your
Oh my
Honor.
God, I'm not ageist, okay? Listen,
Mm-hmm.
how are you doing, Eugene? We'll start that way.
Not too good now.
All right, Mr. Zuckerberg, can you state for the record if you know the defendant, Mr. Melbert Rickenbacker?
I know Melbert Rickenbacker, yes.
All right, can you state for the record if you are familiar with the supposed victim, the deceased Pogan Laul?
I am not aware of a victim, but I am aware of Pogan Laul, yes.
Through your association with Mr. Rickenbacker, were you aware of any relationship between the accused and the victim here?
Oh God, yes. Oh God, they had a right foul relationship. Poor Mel was terrified of that crazy lunatic in that bus. He kept threatening him, making horrible statements, telling him he was going to end his life short. And it did, he said. Just like I killed my wife, he said he was going to kill him. It was horrible, heinous. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. It made me like a Frankenstein monster kind of mentality in his head. You know, man, bear, piggest.
And as testified in court today, can you confirm that you did witness Mr. Rickenbacker get a strange surgery to his leg by this Pogan Laul gentleman?
I did indeed. I witnessed him jab that right into his leg. The blood was everywhere. I was blooded right everywhere. Got it on my new suit and everything. I made Mel pay for the dry cleaning at the time, which of course back in 1854 wasn't called dry cleaning. It was called spinning the wash. So we would put it in the washing machine and spin it round and around and around and around and around by hand. Because we didn't have these machines
Objection
before us.
narrative.
Excuse me, you going to interrupt me?
I don't know. You guys know how to.
What?
I can't
What?
rebut anything. It's Eugene. He was.
All right, Eugene, do
Oh.
your best to keep it on topic, okay? Both you and I don't have long
Ooh,
for this
topic
world.
bars are delicious.
Yeah, no, but if Eugene, if both of us
Oh.
die before the end of this goddamn cold case, then ain't gonna be good for Mel, all right?
Oh, all right. Well, no, that would be good for Mel.
Well, no, not necessarily, because then
Oh.
if you're like the star witness and then he doesn't
Oh,
have
it's
the
going to be
star
like my
witness.
court case against
What the fuck
DOC
is
where Bo
happening right
Tucker
now?
died and now I don't have a witness.
Exactly. And if
All right,
and
perfect.
if I die,
R.I.P.
he's
Bo
guilty
Tucker.
automatically.
Fuck Bo Tucker. He's supposed to be there. as a
R.I.P.
witness. Oh, anyway, where were we?
Tragic.
Anyhow,
Oh, where were we?
I think we got the goods from the last question, so we'll move on.
And
if that's
around
okay
and
with you.
around and around.
please, by all means.
Okay. And were you present in the bus that went over the cliff, driven by Mr. Pogan Laul, as testified in court here today?
Yes.
Could you describe your point of view in that situation?
Oh, well, it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. He was trying to absolutely 100% certainly without doubt, without any question in my mind, no fit nor fiddle about it, trying to kill Melbert Rickenbacker in that bus.
Mr. Pogan Laul have any issues with you, Mr. Zuckerberg?
I don't believe so. I think maybe he wanted to get Mel first. I think it was an age-rated thing. He wanted to go for Mel because he's the oldest.
Objection speculation.
Rebuttal. The question did not call for speculation. It's just what we got.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to.
That's like a no to the question that I asked. No, that
Yeah.
he wasn't aware of any issues with him. So can we admit that?
Yeah, I'm going to overrule. We're going to count that as
Yes,
just
I
a
was
no.
aware.
Eugene, do me a favor. Try and stick with just the question
Oh.
and don't expound too much. All right.
All right, well, can't promise anything, but all right.
Do your best.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep.
And had Mr. Rickenbacker spoken to you about his issues with the deceased, Mr. Laul?
Yes, I remember he was very, very concerned when he found out his wife Trish died, yes?
All right.
What?
Thanks,
Oh.
Eugene. Thank you, Eugene.
Oh, all right, no
I
problem.
think I've gotten as much as I can from Eugene.
What was that about?
I'm not ageist. I'm just look. It's hard. It's hard working with senior citizens. Okay.
What the hell is that
What?
supposed to mean?
What is that supposed to mean? What are you inferring?
Fucking
wanna get
voice
done,
travels in here so bad. It's bullshit.
It's not false.
Your hearing aids are too strong. Okay.
What?
That's
Say the
better.
word, Your Honor.
No, he's counsel at the moment. Toretti, let him live
For now.
for now.
Right, next.
All right. Does that wrap up your question, gentlemen? Any more for
Crane,
direct?
do you have anything else for him?
Yeah, we're wrapped up, Your Honor.
Okay, Cross.
We have no questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Oh,
Very good. Mr. Zuckerberg, you may step down. Thank you very
that
much.
was easier than I thought.
Yeah. Sometime it just do.
They're no better than to mess with me.
All right, we would call Officer Trina back to the stand.
Mel, not
Mel,
you.
you're not Trina.
Oh,
You're not true.
Jesus.
Oh, I need to come back up.
No, Eugene.
No.
go back up.
Oh boy,
I need to go
No.
back up.
officer, I remind you.
Mel,
are
when do
still
you
on the
question
ropes.
me?
Yes, Your
Right
Honor.
now.
Oh,
Are they like? Can you not get to the pharmacy for your meds? Like, what's
All right.
Wow. You know, Eugene, if you want to take him out back and kick shit out of him, I'm
In due
pretty
time.
sure Crane's got it.
Yeah,
due time.
I'm doing the closing, so if you guys need to beat Murphy, then we should be
he's gonna
okay.
come in due time. Don't worry.
I'm here to fill in as well, so
Put a pillow over his face later. Allison.
All righty, that works.
All right, Officer Trina, I've just got a couple of questions for you based off of what we heard from Sergeant Bass and other testimony. Did you have any interactions with Mr. Melbert Rickenbacker prior to being part of that pursuit with the tour bus that day?
It's possible, but I cannot remember. It has been too long.
Okay. Do you recall responding to any incidents related to Mr. Rickenbacker's femoral artery being severed?
That I do not recall. However, I do recall hearing and seeing things about Pogan Laul and Pogan Laul on Twitter.
Okay. Can you elaborate on some of those things for me? What were those?
Objection, hearsay.
It's not hearsay. She's testifying to what she saw.
Yep, I'm going to overrule.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Law did kind of come off a little bit strange prior to the incident with Mel. However, I did not observe him actually attack anyone or aggress anyone per se. He did look like he was bothering people, but it had not reached a level to where I thought that people were in an unsafe place. But that's just because I was not on any of the calls prior to that. Like, I was not responding, that I recall, to the call where Mel's leg was stabbed. That to my recollection, if I had been, please let me know in a report. However, I will say that my main interaction with Pogan Laul was at the dam. He did attack Mel, and I will say that he threw him off of that cliff so fast I was not able to even finish issuing my warning that if he didn't put him down, that I was going to shoot him. Like, I drew my actual firearm instead of my taser because I felt the threat was that great to Mel's life.
Okay, I appreciate that. And to your knowledge, who was driving the bus that you were pursuing?
I believe it was Eugene.
Okay. And Sergeant Bass previously testified that he believed it was you who was supposed to be escorting Mr. Rickenbacker back to Pillbox Medical Center. Did you escort Mr. Rickenbacker to Pillbox Medical Center?
That part I can't remember. I do recall there were some issues, like issues being the local doctors had to pick up Mr. Laul, and I can't recall much about the hospital, which means there was either a call that I was pulled away to where I had to leave the hospital, you know, like a priority call of some sort, or I had a headache. One of those two things happened, because I do remember going toward the hospital, but I don't recall anything from the hospital.
Okay. To your knowledge, was there any police presence in Pillbox Medical Center from the time that Mr. Rickenbacker was admitted for care up until the point where you received the call from EMS Prescott?
I know I went to the hospital, but I did not stay, and I cannot recall the reason for not staying. I do know that during that time period, the power plant had been hit a few times. There were a few attempts on the city vault, so it was probably a priority call that pulled me away, would be my guess.
All right.
Because there would have been no other reason I would have left unless instructed to do so. And Mel was not under arrest. Just to restate that. He was free to go once he woke up.
Understood. What about Mr. Pogan Laul? Would he have been under arrest?
Yes.
Okay, but to your knowledge, no units went to the hospital to arrest or detain him.
Not that I can remember, no.
Understood.
We may have been short-staffed. I would need to go back and try to find a dispatch log for that day and see if we had enough officers and what exactly was going on. I know the other officer on duty at that time was Cody Sharp.
And that would be the other officers other than TJ Walker and Sam Bass.
Yes, he was on the opposite side of the dam. There was an additional call that came in while they were at the dam, and they responded to that one. I do remember that was a priority call. However, I cannot remember what that priority call was for.
Understood.
A priority call is a call wherein it's of such great level of risk or whichever where we have to respond.
Understood. Okay, I have no further questions for Officer Trina. Thank you.
Murphy?
Nothing for me.
All right, Mr. Bunbury, Cross?
No, we don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Officer, you may step down. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mind the glass. Gentlemen?
Sorry, Your Honor. For our final witness, we'll be recalling Dr. Roscoe Villain.
Dr. Villain, please step forward again.
Is
Oh,
that
no,
me?
Mel.
Yeah,
Mel,
yes, sir.
Mel.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Is that me?
God damn it!
Stay here, Mel.
All right.
No,
Don't
is that
tell me what to do.
Dr.
Yeah,
Villain, a reminder,
son of
you
a-
are under oath, sir.
Fuck you, Turkey.
Yes, sir.
All right. Dr. Villain, you previously testified that you did not treat Mr. Rickenbacker following his fall from the dam. Is that correct?
No, I did not treat him.
Okay, but did you treat Mr. Rickenbacker prior to that incident?
Prior to the incident, I did treat Mr. Rickenbacker.
Okay, at this time, we're going to be referring to medical file 5021. Which is entered on the court record. Dr. Roscoe, do you need a copy of that, or are you able to pull that up?
Oh, it's already, yeah, I got a copy right here.
Okay.
All right. Entered as Defense Exhibit Alpha.
All right. Dr. Villain, on May 20th, 2020, what did you treat Mr. Rickenbacker for?
Well, when he came in, he stated that his leg was hurting a lot. When I looked at it, there was a huge gash in his what seemed to be right thigh. Femoral artery was indeed severed, and I had to cauterize the wound on the spot.
All right, and when you say cauterize the wound, can you explain what that is for the court?
Well, cauterizing the wound is when you need to essentially melt the skin together in order to stop any types of opened vein. Instead of suturing or bandaging, if it's extremely severe, you need to start cauterizing, which immediately stops it, but in terms melts the skin together, causing additional damages that could be fixed using physical therapy.
Okay, and just to get at something you hinted at there, do you only cauterize wounds when it's a very severe injury?
Usually, yes.
Okay, do you have any specialized tools used to cauterize these wounds?
Yes, we do.
Do you happen to have brought one of those with you to the courtroom today?
Oh, yes, I did. I did. So, just, can I get it, Judge?
Go ahead.
All right, it's just I put it right over here. Hold on, it just right there. My bag is right here. I just gotta open this up. Hold on. Yep, just me. Let me.
What the hell are you doing down there?
Oh, sorry, sir. I just hold on. There's a lot of things in these bags. Give me a second. I just gotta. Oh, hold on. I gotta take these bandages out. Oh, there it is. All right. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Making a mess up here, damn it. I'm gonna
Sorry,
slip and
I'll
fall.
clean it. I'll clean it, sir. I do
be careful.
apologize.
I could slip and goddamn fall. You don't want me to? Whoa! Oh God! Oh my God! Oh,
okay.
son of a bitch!
It's all right, Doc.
Judge, I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's all right. It's all right. I'll be
Better
fine.
hope he
Then
has
get back
his
to what you
life
were doing.
alert.
Yes, sir.
What the hell did you just say, Murphy?
Tell that, John.
God damn it! I'm gonna
I
deputize
said I hope that
Eugene.
didn't hurt, Your Honor.
I thought I heard something about life alert. I'm gonna deputize Eugene and have him beat you with a rubber hose.
I'll fucking kill you all.
All right. So this right here is my cauterizing tool. I'm gonna just turn it on here. This is gonna be bright, so if any of you guys have any issues with, your eyes, please, I would suggest looking away. If not, you get ready. Right there. There it is.
Holy shit!
There it is.
Okay, yeah,
See
that is
Oh.
right.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, right there. You see that? Oh. Is this enough? Do you want me to turn it off? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead and turn that thing off.
Yeah, we're good.
all right. Let me just
The courthouse is all smoky.
Okay.
Oh God, I dropped it on the floor, Judge. I do apologize.
What?
Sir.
Well, pick it up before it burns the damn cup.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm so sorry.
Set
Oh,
off
God.
all the goddamn smoke alarms. You're lucky Buddha ain't in here. I'd make him clean it up. He's still contracted as a janitor.
I fucking hit
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, you didn't yell corruption. That's how I know it's not
Corruption!
Buddha. Okay, now that might be Buddha.
He's in.
All right, is that the trusty tool that
Got
you
a
referred to in medical file 5021?
Oh, sorry. Could you repeat that?
Is that the trusty tool that you refer to in 5021?
Indeed, it is.
All right. Let me review my notes here. Did Mr. Rickenbacker indicate to you how he had received these injuries at all?
No, he did not. He just stated that his leg was gashed open and that blood was oozing out.
All right.
Something along those lines.
Okay. I have no further questions for Dr. Villain.
All right. Murphy?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. Mr. Bunbury Cross?
No, we have no questions for this witness.
I
Your Honor.
love the balance of
Doctor,
SBS.
you may step down. Thank you
Yep.
very much.
Can I just put this back in the bag?
With
Yeah, I suppose grab your bag and let's get
All right, I'll grab it. I'll grab it.
Pick all that shit up. You make me fall
There
over
we go.
again.
So,
God,
sorry,
all right, there
sorry.
you
I got the
set.
bag. I
Thank
got the
you.
bag.
Thank you. Wait, I think you just missed something over here. Wow! Oh, God!
Judge!
Mistrial.
Naturally selected.
Ow!
You okay, Your Honor?
Oh, how the
It's-
hell are you a
Miscarriage.
It's
Your
it's
Honor,
all right.
please, I'm so sorry.
Villain, I'm
Still not as bad
on.
as Carter.
I'm on retainer with Pillbox. If anything comes out of this, I got
whoa,
you.
you can't say
Oh,
that.
you got
so
the
much,
big
Crane.
pillbox
Thanks so much.
account there,
Yeah,
Crane.
hey,
brag.
Crane, go ahead and ask your co-counsel if you want to go up against me. I'll represent myself.
Oh God, never mind, Villain. You're screwed.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay, gentlemen, what's next?
Your Honor, we have no further witnesses. Is there anything you want to go over before closing?
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna need a needle and thread. I think I might have ripped a knee on this pants.
I think we've made a case. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Court is in recess 5 minutes while both sides prepare their closing arguments.
Beautiful.
Your Honor, if you would, we would like to request an extra 5 minutes of that to make it a 10-minute recess.
How come?
How come?
We want to review all the evidence that the defense has presented to make sure that we review it all in our closing
The
statement.
losing team do need extra time.
Granted.
No,
10-minute
okay.
recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go meditate over here in the corner.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mel, I don't even think it's possible for you to lose at this point.
Any ruckus in here, you're gonna get
Wrong
tased
side,
and beaten.
motherfucker. Go to the other side of the courtroom. This is our corner. This son of a bitch.
This is my corner. I already took it. I'm already meditating here. You can't do anything about it.
Meditate
It all
my ass.
started
I'll sue
in
you
a
for
small
assault.
town
Unhand me.
called
This is
Los
unconsented.
Santos.
This is
Technically, I'm not
unconsented.
touching you.
It was me.
Santos is known as
I got you,
Oh, I
boss.
just shoved him into a wall. You just
Where
fucked
you
him.
go,
God damn it.
We
no
was
one has ever been able to
Shit's
track
going
down
under
into
slowly.
the
I'm
gonna
quick
say
victims
we're
of systems and the systematic ventures into the earth.
Doing our
God damn it.
No.
Move.
Get down.
There you go.
Yeah,
Mel,
right on the
whisper. I'm gonna have the doctor use his trusty tool on your vocal cords.
I could do that. Yeah.
I don't.
Sounds like a soup.
Don't.
All right. Let's review our closing. I'd love to see Wayward step down and do courtroom stuff again. It'd be fucking hilarious. Walden, lifted, Rickenbacker small. Make sure we're getting the dates right on this. Sorry if this is a little boring, guys, but I'm just kind of staring at paperwork and typing right now. It'll be worth it here in a moment. All right, time to go hard on Crane. This is going to be interesting. Crane has never done a closing like this before. It's blame the victim season time, guys. It's blame the victim season time.
And then
Nice.
from that point on, I only remember the night in moments and pictures I've seen.
Yo, those were the strongest lines
Wait,
I've
but
ever fucking drank.
How
Holy
big?
fuck.
All right, I gotta ask, how big was a big Long Island?
Very tall.
Very tall.
Very
Tall.
tall.
Like a
Like
glass.
a tall boy beer.
It was like a fucking.
Really, that's it?
It was like
Okay.
tall and fat. It was like
All
a
right.
huge. It was a fucking motherfucker.
But now I gotta ask.
Let me
what's,
give you. Let me give you. So
it was an Irish bar too, so they were just like, here's all the alcohol.
well, so undergraduate for me. This is many years ago. There was a bar in town that did Long Islands for. It was $5 for a Long Island on Thursdays, and they would bring you out a water pitcher with about 5 ice cubes, and the rest of it was Long Island iced tea.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
With one straw, and they'd say, "Here you go, feller."
Oh my god.
Nice.
That was
Well,
$5.
How much was it?
$5
For the
Oh
pitcher.
my god.
For the
What a
pitcher.
deal.
That was like quad
What a deal.
fisting those fucking
And you're
things.
still
I
there.
did one.
You're
I
still
fucking
there.
gave one to
Somehow-
Mel.
Still alive.
Yeah,
Gave one
I
to
don't know.
I'm
MCR.
still alive.
I
Killed
don't know
another
if it's
two, and
still
then I was-
there.
Mel,
But
I
if
still
you-
don't know where the gin came from that I had.
Surprise.
Just
kid.
learn to
If
breathe
you-
with a pillow
I don't know
over
if
your
it's
face.
still there, but if
This
you
is
Google
Los Santos,
Prune
bro.
Gang, the first thing that comes up is just a picture of me and Eugene holding shots of Jameson that I don't remember.
Wait, I
Nice.
drink Jameson?
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I had a pint glass of gin, but it was half gin, half tonic.
I
It was
drink like
fucking
once
disgusting,
every
but I
2
don't know where it
years.
came from.
Like
Oh yeah,
actively.
it is right
And
here.
Mel
I see
gave
it,
me a
actually.
fucking drink
Oh, yeah,
at
first
MitchCon, and I
image.
just don't remember
Really?
drinking it at all.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's the
first,
picture
first,
right there.
first thing
Remember, where did I
on,
get
first
Sorry,
thing
John,
on
circle's
Google.
cold.
The fucking thing with like the lime or whatever, what a mint thing is. What the fuck is it? Mojito?
What was it?
No.
Mint mojito? I fucking
there you go.
love
Who
mint
won?
mojito.
Nobody yet.
Yeah.
Nobody
I was
yet,
like, oh, this
Lordy.
doesn't have enough fluid, and I just drank it all.
I don't drink alcohol. I'm a perfect person.
Wow.
Another sugary beer that like really messes me up is those those not your father's root beers.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I've heard of that, but I haven't had it.
yeah,
They-
those will
I
sneak
don't
up on
taste
you.
like
Malt
root beer at
because
all.
it gives me nasty hangovers. I
Yeah.
don't go near malt. All right, so
What's everybody?
y'all ever heard of Irish car bombs?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh no, that's
All
what
right.
made me space the fuck out when Jordan Steele gave me
All right.
one, and I
That's
felt
what
like I was having
I
an
thought she
aneurysm.
was a
All
sober
right.
girl thing.
I was in another dimension for the whole day.
Let's hear a good car bomb
I wish I
story.
wouldn't have seen
You're
that.
gonna like this one, Eugene.
I love the LA
it's,
one.
They're
St.
rough.
Patty's Day,
Is
and
this
I'm
shit
out with a
over
bunch
yet?
of friends, and I buy a round
Oh,
for the
it's
table.
long.
That's 8. I knock mine back. One person pushes theirs to me, says, "No, I'm driving. You take mine." Okay, I knock that one back. The 3 girls at the table, they're all too scared. They push theirs over to me. I take down all
Artson
3
is
of
the
theirs.
judge.
Oh no.
The other 2 guys look at me and they're like, "You know what?" And they pushed them over. Like, "Nah, we're good, brother." And I'm just, "Fine, you assholes." So in the span of about 10 minutes, and these were full pints too, I might
Oh
add.
god,
Double
Guinness
shots.
is so fully.
Double
How are you
shots
alive?
of full pints of Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so
How are you
filling.
alive today?
Because I was
He's in the military.
Because I was in the army, damn it.
That's like
That
5
was a
dinners.
starter.
That's like 5 dinners.
Yeah, that little bit there was like an appetizer for me. I then I moved on to whiskey, mixed with Jaeger, mixed with something from under the bar.
Something from under the bar. That's
drink a
exactly
liter
what you want to.
I took a liter of Jaeger in an hour before. That was. I've never drunk.
Are you
Jaeger.
good?
Why would you
See,
do
I
that?
can't stand
I've never
Jaeger.
drunk Jaeger
I
and
can't
said what I
stand
have.
Jaeger.
See, I love Jaeger until that
Oh.
one time where it just doesn't
Yeah,
work
right. The one
with you
time.
well.
I did a full
Gucci, you
handle
okay?
of Captain Morgan spiced rum in about 2 hours, maybe 3. My friends tell me I had a real good night. I don't really remember anything
Yeah, I think
about it.
I dipped
They
a whole
told
bottle
me
of
I-
Kraken as well. That was good.
Yeah, they told me
So-
they hid the bottle, but that I went full goddamn detective on, found a damn thing and finished the bottle.
Yeah,
So
I
my
had one of
question
those
is,
with Sky Vodka one time where I finished the whole goddamn bottle. Apparently, I played on a trampoline. I built a bonfire. It was a very productive evening,
Built
but I
a
don't
bomb?
Pretty
remember.
cool. Productive drunk.
Bonfire.
So what's
Productive
the
drunk.
difference between a brownout and a blackout?
Brown out, you remember moments.
Blackout's
you don't
completely.
remember.
Mm,
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where you shit yourself, right?
That's what I thought it was, but
Oh wait, what?
Oh yes, when
Brown
we
note.
got back from that
Wait,
night
there's
when
more
none
for
of
that?
us could remember anything, fucking Kyle Pratt decided to vomit all over the table.
You had to go to the
When we
hospital.
got back to the beer, yeah, he had to go. He had to go to urgent care the next morning because he had.
I remember that.
Water left in his body.
It took me about.
He
I'd
had
say
to spend
about an hour,
$400 on an IV.
and he felt better than any of us. That piece
Yeah,
of shit.
cunt.
No, y'all have no idea how good an IV is.
Oh, I do.
For the hangover. It's like, oh god, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
you got
the
like
banana
expert
bank?
medical care
You
for
go
IVs.
find your medic buddy, be like, brother, it's gonna be bad. Hook me up. And then
Yep.
he just goes ahead and sticks it in the vein, and you're all better.
Oh my god. What? Where were
Yeah, and
we?
Ucha slept in a closet.
We're not waiting on the verdict yet. We're waiting on the
We found him in
closing.
the closet in the morning.
Wait, you found him?
It was a big closet, like it was almost like a second room. He was just
Walk-in
on the
closet,
floor,
yeah.
sleeping on the floor.
So he did the full Philip J. Fry.
It was comfortable too.
He
Norm,
liked it.
and then when we were in Texas, Norm Yoder did the same thing.
Norm
He slept in our closet.
see, I had a
You just put-
I had a
you just put the thing up.
friend who blacked out in
All
college.
right, are we all prepared to
I'm
go?
sorry.
Oh, yeah, we
to
good.
do
I
our
mean,
closing
Yeah, we did.
arguments?
Yeah, I'm
Is it a court
good.
case?
No, Bunbury ain't ready yet. Okay, hold on.
All right, Mel's good.
Okay. But I had a friend black
Yeah, I
out
know.
in college. This was in Chicago, and a massive blizzard happened. And I guess he went out to go take a piss in an alley, and there was a huge amount of snow in there. He blacked out, fell into the snow,
Uh-oh.
had to go to the emergency room because he had frostbite on his private
Oh
parts.
no.
Oh,
Oh my
God.
god.
Is this
And,
person bothering you, Your Honor?
From that moment on, he was
No.
forever Frosty the Snow Dick.
Oh wow.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, rigged. That's
What's
that's a
everybody's
heck of
opinion
a
on
resume.
Fireball?
So horrible. Gives me
Fireball's
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't do
poop
that to
dog.
You know
shit.
what? I didn't get heartburn from
yeah,
whiskey
too
until I drank like
spicy.
half a bottle in like an hour, and then I'm
not giving
forever
you my
then
gun.
after I was like,
you're
oh,
drinking
I'll-
shitty
I'll
whiskey,
do that
Eugene.
to
You
you.
gotta drink better.
no, I
I
have
was
I have
gonna-
some
Oh,
cool,
hibiki
bro.
over here. I
You
have
want me
some
to get
Japanese
fired?
hibiki.
Fireball's
pretty
good for
good.
cheap shit. It's
That's
just
good.
Just
there's
Yeah.
plenty of better
just-
cinnamon
Hibike's
whiskeys.
great.
Okay, but you
You got
mix
some,
Fireball
Michelle?
with Fireball with root beer.
heard
It's
you
actually really good.
Oh,
Just
okay.
keep
I
the
imagine that's pretty
fireball
good.
away from me.
I don't like
please.
cinnamon.
If you
in
mix
general, so-
Fireball
Yeah.
with Not Your Father's, that's a pretty
Give me
deadly
some Knob
combination.
What the hell's a
Creek.
Nacho Father?
Knob Creek is
That's
Not Your
beer,
Father's
beer,
root beer. Yeah.
Malt root beer, Eugene. Alcohol.
Oh,
root
I
beer.
don't like that very much.
It's like Mike's
Yeah.
Hard, but for root beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Way too much sugar. That's like
Yes.
2 days worth of sugar in one bottle.
Mhm.
Oh, very nice.
That's why I like Seagrams. They go compared to Mike's, they go pretty light on sugar.
See, the most sugar I'll do is like there's a nice cherry vanilla bourbon that I like, and that I mix that with Coke and makes it like a
I fucking hate artificial
alcoholic
cherry flavor.
cherry Coke.
Hate it. Artificial
Yeah,
cherry is
I'd
the
rather
worst.
just
All right.
put,
Well, you
put
know what they
cherries
say.
in something.
Okay, hands
Alright.
in.
All right. All right. Drunk circle.
Hands in.
Guilty.
Probably.
Oh,
Guilty
guilty.
on three. Guilty on
All
three.
right.
1, 2, 3.
Uh,
2,
One,
3.
two,
Guilty.
three.
Get fucked, Mel.
Actually, now that it's summertime, I want some sangria.
Wait, is this the closing statement or
Alright.
no?
Yeah, closing
Kinda red
statements.
over there was just
I want
spaced out
that
as
the
fuck.
line of Kugel summer.
I think you're gonna be
shandy
excited for this
Very
closing
bad.
statement. I
I
haven't,
think everybody
I haven't
else
gone
is
this hard on
losing.
anybody in a closing statement in a while.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
sorry,
I
Wait,
couldn't
wait,
hear what
what's
you
that
said.
mean?
Oh, hell
Closing.
yeah. Bring that on. Let it come around from behind.
You
You're
mother
swimming
bitch.
in
Whoa.
We've
What'd you say,
never
Craig?
done that. Come on.
Wait, what?
No.
Wait,
go,
what?
Go ahead. Do the hear ye, hear ye.
Hear
coming out from
ye,
behind.
hear ye.
Yeah.
All rise for
Oh,
the
look.
honorable
It's the
Judge
town
Arson.
crier.
We're already standing.
Rise higher,
Nights
damn
out
it.
on the
no.
piss.
Dude,
Fuck.
Fuck
I
who
need
chimes
someone to
nights out
explain
getting
this to
fucked
me.
up.
No,
later.
just stand over there. I'll tell you if you have to come
Fuck.
You know,
Yeah, you actually don't have to go up
All right, wait.
at
up.
all
You don't.
through the rest of the court
you know,
case.
honestly,
I know, I just like the
we've been doing this for how many years and ain't the bailiff never done that before. I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
No problem, Your Honor.
Appreciate that. All right. Court is ready to hear closing arguments.
Because he learned everything about being a cop and a bailiff from watching Judge Judy.
Mr. Bunbury, you do need to have a little jump.
Mile bitter.
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, great. I think I just about threw my back there. All right. Great. Well,
Toretti's
may
done
it
really
please the
good.
court.
But it's always shit on
Pogan
Toretti's
Laul's
season.
final moments were spent in a hospital bed, struggling for his life. But unlike other patients in Pillbox who meet similar fate as a result of trauma or illness or old age, Pogan's fate was decided at the hands of the defendant, Mel Rickenbacker. The evidence presented here today has provided us with a picture, one which tells us not only what happened, to Mr. Pogan Laul.
Poor
But
Toretti.
what happened in his
I
final
love
moments of his
Mantis so
life
much,
and
dude.
the events that led up to the murder of Mr. Laul. On May 20th, police ensued in a chase involving the attempted detainment of Eugene Zuckerberg. Upon coming to the dam, we know that some conflict ensued between the defendant and Pogan Laul. What
We're gonna
prompted
minimize that.
Mr. Laul to throw the defendant off a cliff, we don't know, and it is wholly irrelevant as far as the reckless actions of Mr. Rickenbacker later committed are concerned.
It's
After
not.
this incident at the dam occurred, both individuals were knocked unconscious, as Officer Alexeyevna testified today. Mr. Bass's testimony tells us about what Mr. Prescott saw, a statement which is admissible per the Federal Rules of Evidence 804, Section 4, stating that testimony
Why is he
can be
justifying that?
admitted
We didn't
if the
object to
witness
it.
is unable to to testify due to death, physical illness, mental illness, or in this case, existing infirmity. As Bass informed us, through his interaction with Prescott and his messages that were received over dispatch, Prescott heard the defendant actively suffocating Pogan Laul. Upon entering, he told him to stop. At this time, there was another individual, Medic Prescott, who was present that could have protected Mr. Rickenbacker. The defendant failed to stop his attack, however, and his failure to comply led to the death of Mr. Laul. Furthermore, the defendant's testimony today has shed light into his mindset during all this. When Mr. Rickenbacker awoke in Pillbox Medical, Mr. Laul was still in bed. At this moment, he was not a threat. If the defendant feared for his life, the appropriate response would have been to flee. At this moment in time, the defendant claims that multiple attempts on his life had already been made. Attempts which, by the way, have not been substantiated by any other physical reports or any other witnesses. Instead of avoiding contact with Mr. Laul, the defendant approached him. A man who he allegedly feared greatly, feared for his own life from, and even after allegedly disarming him of a knife that he had, he grabbed a pillow and suffocated a man who was recovering from an injury, lying in a bed, and he suffocated to death. The defendant says that his injuries made it difficult for him to escape. Yet, this same lack of strength and vigor was still enough to take the life of another individual. The defendant was in a hospital. Not his vehicle, not his home, a hospital. A place where people are taken to be saved regardless of who they are and what brought them there. The actions taken by the defendant go beyond an impulse inspired by a heat of passion. Mr. Rickenbacker, in a moment where there was no direct lethal threat to his life, at least not one that would have been perceived by any reasonable individual, considering that Pogan Laul was unarmed and
He thinks
recovering
he
from
saw where
injuries
we
in
were
his
going
bed.
with this, but he didn't.
Mr. Rickenbacker took matters
That's
in his own
cute.
hand and acted while consciously causing great, serious bodily harm to Mr. Pogan Laul. An act of depraved indifference. Such actions and such inherent mindsets or intents provide grounds for why the District Attorney's Office is seeking charge Mr. Rickenbacker with murder.
You guys ready for this?
Thank you.
Let's go up there and shit talk this guy.
Did he cut out for anybody else, or is that just me?
A couple times, but I caught the most of it.
Okay.
I got the gist of it.
You just let me know when you're good to go, Your Honor.
You're all set. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor, and may it please the court. Today, this court has heard the story of the death of Pogan Laul, a man who died under circumstances mostly of his own doing and, in part, according to medical and autopsy reports submitted by the prosecution, due to injuries he sustained in his direct attempt to murder the defendant by throwing him off of a cliff face. A miserable excuse for a human being who took pleasure in the pain of others. A man who attempted to murder the defendant, Melbert Rickenbacker, on 3 separate occasions. The walking personification of, it's just a prank, bro. Mr. Laul assaulted the defendant, Melbert Rickenbacker, not once, not twice, but 3 times the evening of his justified demise. In the first incident, Mr. Laul attempted to tattoo a word on Mr. Rickenbacker's leg in a moving bus. Mr. Laul nearly killed Mr. Rickenbacker in this incident when he struck and severed Mr. Rickenbacker's artery during this tattooing. Dr. Villain, who treated this injury, had no choice but to cauterize the wound on the spot using his trusty tool due to the severity of the injury and the bleeding. Mr. Laul's abuse did not stop there. He drove a tour bus in an attempt to evade the police and launched that bus into a reservoir. Melbert managed to escape that bus, to swim to relative safety, climbing up a sheer face of rock and walking along a dirt path when he encountered Officer Trina. The two of them then together encountered Mr. Laul, who immediately lifted Mr. Rickenbacker's small frame into the air, hoisted him over his shoulder, and then threw him directly over a cliff face. Laul launched Melbert from the cliff face and lost his own footing in the process, falling down the cliff himself. This occurred so rapidly and so without warning that the officer could not even issue a verbal warning prior to Melbert falling almost to his own demise. Melbert then regained consciousness in the hospital, sharing a room with the person who had not once, not twice, but 3 times nearly taken his life on May 31st, 2020. He was treated by Pillbox medical staff, and he was allowed to rest, directly beside the man who severed the artery in his right leg, directly beside the man who nearly drowned him by submerging a vehicle, directly beside the man who had jettisoned him from the face of a cliff intentionally, with no police presence, directly next to the man who just attempted to murder him, as the police were attending a priority call that evening. The defendant asked this court, the gallery, the judge, everyone in the courtroom, what would you have done under those circumstances? What would any reasonable man or woman do under extreme mental, emotional, and physical disturbance that Mr. Laul had caused to Mr. Rickenbacker that day? Placed in Mr. Rickenbacker's situation, I know what I would have done. I would have taken the opportunity to ensure that Mr. Laul could not injure me again. But that's not what we're deciding. The defense contends that this alleged murder is simply an inappropriate charge under these circumstances, and accordingly raises the defense of mitigating factors. The defendant asserts that he was under the influence of extreme mental and emotional disturbance, for which there is a reasonable explanation or excuse. In other words, Mr. Rickenbacker acted under legally sufficient provocation on part of Mr. Laul. Provocation which created a sudden heat of passion. Provocation which outright mitigates the offenses herein, making murder the completely inappropriate charge for this case. Although the defendant does not contest that this provocation is a full legal defense, for the death of Pogan Laul, he does assert that this provocation mitigates the charges herein to, at the very best, voluntary manslaughter. Accordingly, the defendant requests that this court utilize its discretion, alter the charges set forth herein, and acquit the defendant of the murder charge, finding him guilty only of the offenses which are actually appropriate under these circumstances. Thank you.
Court is in recess while I deliberate. Keep it down in here.
You crushed it.
I got it, Your Honor.
That was.
Did I make it? Did I make it sound like?
Else.
I make it sound like he deserved to die. That's what I was going
Absolutely.
Any outburst from anybody in this peanut gallery is going to get beaten
Honestly,
to death
I
with
know
a
you
for.
flashlight.
Any outburst from you, and I'm gonna see if Larry will press accessory charges on you for manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
Written down just
Do
in
it, do
case
it.
if you
Fuck
didn't bring
already.
them up.
Bring it on.
How scary it would be
you
if
covered
Brain
all
was
of it.
DA.
Hey, look, it's a
Holy
look, it's a
shit.
hook.
Closings are kind of what I
We'd
do.
all be fucked.
He's fine.
I'm telling you, dream team right here.
Damn. Oh shit! Sorry.
Good lord.
That's
Stubborn.
Sorry,
the
muscle
heart of the
spasm.
defense is that
Appreciate
the
it.
prosecution
Poop on
is
my shoe as
focused
well,
on the
get
last
fucked.
few moments of this guy's life instead of who he is as a person, and who he was.
Everyone
as a
relax.
piece of shit.
Hey, can you believe they reached out to me with second degree for a plea?
You need a bandage? I can help
I'm
you
almost
out.
didn't get
positive
it.
I'm getting
I'm okay.
manslaughter.
You too, Eugene?
No, I haven't been touched.
You think so, Mel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Oh
Put your
man.
hands down.
Sorry, Mel. I already bribed the judges. You're getting the death penalty.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
shit.
fine.
That's
Oh,
fine.
nice. I get to do it?
Yeah.
Toretti, that's a psychopath answer.
Toretti
Don't be a
gets so
psychopath.
excited about murder. Look at him. He's so cute.
Dan, you okay? What
He
happened to
just
you?
wants to kill people.
Yeah,
I don't want to
How
have
did
to.
you get through the metal detector with that thing?
What'd you just say, Mel?
I'm kidding.
Trey,
I have
why
a
don't you
couple.
put on your stupid fucking good boy hat?
My God.
It's not even a hat, it's a
You're
helmet.
just jealous that I have one.
I think
on.
Is that,
Good
is
boy
that,
hat.
is that what your mom told you to
I've
tell
got a
people when
good
she
boy
gave you that
hat.
helmet?
Son of
Or
a
Wait, did I hear Dan?
I think the reason he got all like, oh, bro, is when he put the helmet on, it constricted blood flow to his brain.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
When you swore.
Yeah, I'm bored.
Brain.
Oh, the
Oh,
helmet's
now
not
you
even
say it
on.
right.
4 minutes and
Say it
10
again?
seconds. Is that how long that closing was?
Okay, now put the helmet on.
It was a page and a half. We had to tell
Say
a
it again.
story.
You
We had to
can
paint a
travel
picture.
whenever you're about
Got
to-
worse.
I think it's the chin strap.
Take the
It
helmet
has
off.
to be a chin strap.
We had to
Say
paint
it.
the pictures so
Airborne.
that whenever we
Okay,
got
put the
the
helmet
we
on.
got to the
Sure.
what would you
Not in
do
not in
moment,
town.
it was effective.
Again.
Oh, bored.
It's the helmet.
Oh no.
Do you have like a
We found our
fucking donut
kryptonite.
in your
We
mouth?
found Toretti's kryptonite.
Why is Uchiha talking about not being in town?
Oh,
is he
because
overburdened?
before he was an anime, he was an NPC.
Oh,
What?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm overburdened.
I'm sworn to carry your what is it?
I'm
Burdens?
sworn to
lord?
carry your
Yeah, I'm sworn to
burdens.
carry your lord.
Sworn
Fuck
to
it.
carry
Whatever.
your
Who gives a
load.
shit?
I'm sworn to take your load.
What?
You guys
Wow.
didn't install those mods for Skyrim? I did.
No, not the nude mods.
I don't
Who's
install
Diablo?
mods from Minecraft.
Those aren't even mods. Those are the.
I didn't play
way
those
it's meant to
games.
be played.
I don't
Video
install
games are
mods
for
for
nerds.
Skyrim.
I don't
I
know
don't-
why I would
I've
just
never
like
played one.
install a mod that lets me cheat within like the
It's called console
mythology.
commands.
I'd rather just like cheat if I'm gonna cheat. I'd rather just spawn in a million cheeses and roll them off a mountain.
Yeah.
The hell's it?
Hmm.
I have.
You know what cheese is,
Knowledge.
Treddy?
I know what
dude.
cheese is. I love
You never
cheese.
heard of
Like
cheese?
pickled milk.
Knowledge.
Ew.
Oh god, no.
That's what cheese is.
Shut up.
Yes, sir.
I'll deal with them.
Oh my god, it's Jack.
I got it.
Bryce,
I'll
you
deal with it.
understood that
Deal with it.
reference?
Hey, look,
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Bane.
How'd you wait? Have you listened to it?
Listen to what?
The instance.
The instance?
Oh, by the
Yeah,
way,
instance.
Grayson,
Where's
we're gonna be
Yes.
we're gonna be representing Dan Faley in a case that he's defending against James Appeller, just to teach him a lesson.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Give him
great.
hell.
Yeah.
I can't carry anymore.
Apple's
good to me.
Apple's brought the case to
can't
some
carry
dickhead
anymore.
named
Oh,
Kahlo
burden.
instead of bringing it to me, so I'm gonna show him what he's missing out on.
Help! He can't
Oh,
help me.
that's
The verdict
Callow,
is
that's
given.
my brother.
It makes me
It's
look
Already,
guilty.
what are you
Yeah,
doing
well,
with
you-
my
He's cuffed.
client?
He's staying
I
cuffed
assumed your
now.
brother was dead.
Oh come on!
He was
wait,
nothing
wait,
but
wait,
he was
wait,
nothing to you.
Dan?
Excuse me.
What?
Toretto, do not let any of the judges know about
mean,
what's
he did
going on
say
right now.
He punched me.
No, he didn't.
Murphy?
I punched
He
you.
actually
Leave,
Did-
leave him where he's at then. Don't tell the
Wait, did
fucking
you say
judges
Callow's
about
doing
what's
a
going
case?
on.
Carry
What do you mean?
deliberating.
What do you
What's
mean?
that?
Don't tell him?
Deliberating.
What are you
You're
talking about?
deliberating.
Doing a
You're gonna
case?
fucking
Oh,
change
I'm
it.
sorry.
You can't cut me.
Yeah, apparently he's representing
You can't cut me.
James
Hit him.
Appeller in a
Hit him,
case
hit
against
him.
What do
Faley.
you mean hit me? Don't say that.
Fucko owes me 20
Mel
grand.
will behave.
Sorry,
Just
sorry.
Cuff my
Yeah,
client.
well, he was at
I'm
Garage Q
overburdened.
like 3 hours ago.
Let me take the
Taking
taser
on a
off.
heavy load.
Mel. Oh,
I need.
Not a
I think you need more than a doctor, Treddy.
Where the hell is that from?
Yeah, what's up?
Grant, come here for a minute.
Pigeon.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh god.
All right, so we've done like 3 or 4 cases now. What do you think about partner law firm?
You know, considering that as long as you promise not to disappear like my last goddamn partner, I think I'd be okay
hey, you're
with
preaching
it.
to the choir about Bane. His name's good to have on the
I
billboard,
played
but
11.
you know,
I played FF11. That's it.
I dealt with whatever you're dealing with in that regard, so you don't have to tell me.
Yeah, I'm down for it. We can discuss fine details because you're mostly, like big picture cases. I do have quite a bit of shit with some of your current clients on there anyway, Bullet and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea. I think it'd work.
All right, and you know, that other thing you emailed me about, we'll be in touch about that too.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, damn.
Congratulations.
Wait,
What
what?
is that?
nice.
Grayson gets to die.
Fuck
instead
you.
of
Hair
Ura-
though.
Ura
Wait, what?
Abes.
You had
Yep,
hair
you're
earlier.
taking the case. You already accepted it.
I want the best
For what?
What's the Besaid Abes or whatever the name
Where,
is?
Dan, where did your fucking hair go?
For represent. Who's he going up against?
I just
Uh,
shave
Jay-
it off my head.
Chain
When?
gang.
In the last
I
5,
can't.
10
I
minutes?
All right,
can't.
why did
I
like new
represent
fucking
Chain Gang.
lawyers grow up in our empty places here?
What do you mean?
they just like sprouted up like fungus. Like there's a bunch of like new lawyers.
Well, you
around
guys
now.
disappeared.
We went outside for 2 minutes to the vending machine, and there's just like new lawyers ready to.
What if
Oh,
I
you're
snap
being
my
like right
fingers?
now.
They'll just
fray.
disappear.
Oh, shit, that
please
was
don't. I
fast.
don't want to
But
disappoint.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. To
I
be
don't know
They're
how I
usually
feel
ready or
about
they're
that.
not. I don't know why the verdict.
I'm not even
would be
part of this
ready in
case, so I don't
5
like
minutes.
No horsing
That
around.
was fairly quick.
I'm not a horse. I'm a
No,
man.
but like why in 5 minutes? Oh,
I think they're just giving everybody time to get back in here.
oh, okay.
What did I just
Oh.
say, Bryce?
What?
No
Verdict's
horsing
re-
around.
Verdict's
a
ready in
pony.
5 minutes.
Unicorn.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's a.
You got 3 seconds to get off that pony.
I want a new
swimming.
courthouse.
One,
This bench is just
two,
fucking
Yeah.
out of here.
3.
3.
This isn't a beach. This is a
You're
bathroom.
swimming, Mel. I don't tell people my
This
verdicts
isn't a
until,
beach. This is
until
a
I read it.
bathroom.
You're not getting no spoilers. This is a
Mel,
spoiler-free zone, you bastard.
Get over there.
Please.
Dumbledore dies.
What the fuck?
Wait, I
What
hear
the-
somebody screaming for help.
Why would you do
Yeah.
this?
Please.
Ah, it's
What
already
the hell's
help.
this?
Can't believe this. Unreal.
Who's
Wait,
groaning
writing super
for
cops now?
assistance?
This is Johnny.
Larry
Yeah,
Hallow?
bullshit.
Someone in the back, I think.
What?
Okay, he's full of shit.
Yep. Hey, great. Hey, great. Hey, great. Stop yelling in pain back there.
Stop being
Did
in
you
pain.
punch somebody in the face?
No? What?
Larry,
yes.
some guy out there.
Larry's been in here the whole time.
Yeah, what?
Does Dan
Shreddy,
not?
you're losing it.
Hey, can you die
Helmet's
quieter,
moving the
please?
blood circulation to your head. Sorry.
Here you go.
Yeah, Bane.
Wait,
It's an
what?
accident.
Bless,
I'm
obviously.
gonna have to check your. Can I check your
Yeah.
fists?
Dan
Sir?
isn't the
I do not
not
consent.
the biggest
Too
guy.
bad. You've
That's
been
true.
implicated in a crime. I just need to rule you out.
Implicated.
Yep.
Hello, do you need a
Push them
lawyer?
over here.
Yeah, Ronnie was a lawyer.
Did you punch somebody?
Mel, what are you doing up here, Mel?
Nope. What do you mean, Johnny?
Yeah, just stay down with your attorney until we call you up to the witness stand to testify.
Okay.
Or unless like you really need a tissue, because I got a box of them up here. Somewhere.
Okay.
Luck in your case tomorrow.
I'm just gonna stand here so we have no more outbursts.
All right, we're going to read the verdict. Order in the court. Order in the court.
Pretty straight.
Yeah.
Based on evidence provided and testimony from all parties today, the court does find Mel culpable in the death of Mr.
Ooh, that's
Pogan
good.
Laul.
That's good.
But the court does agree with the defense's assertion that Melbert was suffering from a mental break and not in his right mind due to the attacks that he had suffered from Mr. Pogan Laul that day, which have been verified by both sworn officer of the peace as well as a doctor of Pillbox Medical. So, to that end,
What about the previous mayor?
the court is going to set aside the charge of murder, choosing instead to reduce that charge to voluntary manslaughter. And we're going to find you guilty of that, Mr. Rickenbacker. We are going to commute the sentence in favor of the following order. Mel Rickenbacker, the court orders you to present yourself to the mental health officials of Pillbox Medical in order to ensure that whatever caused you to snap and kill this man, however justified you might have felt yourself being at the time, does not occur again. You have 7 days to comply with the order of this court. Should you not comply with the order of this court, I will swear out an arrest warrant for you, sir, and you will serve time either in the state penitentiary or I will remit you to Parsons until the mental health authorities of this state deem that you are fit for being amongst the general population again. Do you understand the order of this court, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. That is the judgment of this court at this time. Court is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
I'm so
Thank
sorry,
you, Your
Mel.
Honor.
Nice,
I'm
Mel.
sorry,
you got,
Mel,
you broke
I
out
feel
of prison.
dismissed you.
No, got nothing for us.
You got
What
the
do you mean
therapy.
you failed
That
me?
wasn't part of the
Yeah,
charge.
you just
Therapy is
got-
terrible. I had
Last
to get
time
it
I
too.
went to therapy, I shot the therapist in the collarbone. He's gonna have a field
No,
day.
you know, you broke out of prison. You didn't get charged for it. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. I got
even
asked about
mention
my
that.
feelings.
Sorry,
I hated therapy.
Sorry.
They literally
mean-
didn't mention that
I
even.
mean,
Wow,
Mel
congrats,
didn't
Mel.
break out of prison.
Thank you,
that
Mel.
never
Thank
happened.
you.
No, that never happened.
Yeah,
got
that never
busted out of
happened.
prison,
What are
never
you-
killed like
what are you
Satan.
talking about? That's all
Happened.
hypothetical.
You never broke out of prison.
Woo!
Whoa!
Congratulations,
Mel,
Mel.
you
If you're
can put
happy,
the PDA away.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy if he's happy.
No, but when I got sentenced to therapy, that was a tough
Oh, what the
time
fuck
for
is
me.
happening?
I couldn't stand that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you had to talk about your one feeling, right? That must have been something else.
Well, no, it's just like you can't get blood from a stone, okay? Like, I don't think things in terms like that. Like, how'd you feel about this? It's like, look, I didn't. I had shit to do. I kept going. You know, like, when people are busy, they don't process feelings the same way, you know?
True.
It's like, look, you know, whatever I can't deal with right now, I fucking set it aside. If it comes back, it comes back. Otherwise, I move the fuck on.
More, by the way, I want to let you know, I'm not preparing a goddamn thing for tomorrow's case. I'm not preparing an opening. I'm not preparing a closing. I'm not even going to think about what I would ask the witnesses. So,
I'm just going to wing it?
It's all you, buddy.
Yep, it's
No,
all
that's
it's,
totally fine. I got this.
More leading it.
it's all you. You're just I'll fill in the blanks if I happen to catch any of them.
Gotcha.
What time is it at?
8:30
8:30.
EST.
Now remember, Crane had back-to-back court today, so he's relying on you right now to take lead here. So take fucking that opportunity.
Perfectly okay with me.
Very seriously.
This is a trial run. They're basically letting me. He's been shadowing me for a while, doing some paralegal work, stuff like that. He's gonna be doing this one before Artson tomorrow. If he does well, he gets a bar license. If he doesn't, he leaves forever.
It's like an interview case.
Interview case. Okay. That's cool.
It's more like trial by combat. If you win,
Yeah, you
congrats. If you lose, you're well, see ya.
Yep.
Well, we've got a goddamn judge as a witness. If you lose, then I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I was about to say this case should be pretty straightforward if you got a judge as a witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Stanton was feeling pretty spicy about this one, and it takes a lot to wake that guy up. So.
I'll say, let's just hope he has his coffee.
Well, Crane,
Great job.
Yeah,
You did
I
a
don't want
good
to
job.
interrupt you, but again, as always, I want to give you props.
Oh no, that was a hell of a. I don't think that you really. I don't think there's any way you could have foresaw the twist we were trying to put on this one. So
Yeah. No, but no, it was good. I genuinely believe I don't think I've ever heard a verdict from a case and believe that it was the wrong decision. So, yeah, no, no, just wanted to say props. I also did want to give you a heads up. Did I what?
Did you think
the wrong decision was made? No, not at all.
Yeah.